in Portland.
It looks like Kohler saying that he was shot twice by ICE.
Not ICE, but this time agents with Customs and Border Patrol. Both agencies fall under the Department of Homeland Security, and that department says they were conducting targeted enforcement action. The agents attempted a traffic stop, and Homeland Security officials say the man who was driving that car tried to run over officers. That's when those officers opened fire. We do not have video of this incident, and we have not confirmed what the Department of Homeland Security is saying. The incident triggered outrage and protests. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin was in downtown Portland last night.
We're right outside of the ICE facility here in downtown Portland. Every 30 minutes to an hour, there are ICE agents that come out and they stand on this middle part of the roof here, and then they'll open the gate, a car will go in. That's about the height of this. The crowd was much, much bigger earlier, but it's been very peaceful.
Our reporter Luke Ducey will be live from Portland later this morning. And in Seattle, a vigil for Renee Nicole Good. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao was there on the waterfront and says almost 1,000 people attended.
And why?
Hundreds of people on Seattle's waterfront.
The ICE agent who murdered Renee Good.
Demanding justice for Renee Good after the mother of 3 was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis.
I was sick. I mean, it was just heartbreaking to see it happen.
Federal officials calling the shooting self-defense, but many people here disagreed.
You can see the video. You know, we've seen it from every different angle, sped up, slowed down, and it's all the same conclusion. You know, she was murdered.
The mayor of Seattle says she's furious after federal immigration agents detained 3 people in North Seattle yesterday.
It is unacceptable to kidnap people who are simply going about their lives. There is no place for this in Seattle.
Katie Wilson says she's now working with the police and city attorney to, quote, keep the people of Seattle safe. The police chief did confirm those were federal agents conducting enforcement duties along Aurora Avenue yesterday. We've reached out to ICE for comment. No word yet on the people they detained. It took multiple Kitsap County Sheriff's deputies and Suquamish Tribal Police to subdue a woman accused of stealing her estranged husband's car.
Get out of the car.
Investigators say the woman wouldn't stop until a deputy performed a pit maneuver and the car crashed into a highway barrier. Then they had to use pepper ball launchers to get the driver and passenger to surrender. Both driver and passenger were arrested. It's almost here. Revive I-5, as WashDOT calls it, or as KIRO traffic reporter Chris Sullivan calls it, months of hell. Tonight, all northbound lanes of I-5 shut down from I-90 to Northeast 45th Street until 5 a.m. Monday. Here's State Transportation Secretary Julie Meredith.
That could mean finding alternative routes, leaving early or staying late, allowing more time to travel, taking transit when possible.
Crews will create safe work zones for a long-term 2-lane closure through 2026. It is 5:13. Now's the time to check traffic, and we are green all over the map. Let's check some travel times. Tacoma to Seattle at this point is about 38 minutes. Everett to Seattle is 35 minutes, and we are just clear on the lake bridges, clear everywhere you want to go. Now let's check your weather forecast. We're going to be a lot warmer today, 50 degrees, mostly cloudy, a little breezy. Tomorrow, showers late in the day and rain on Sunday, but it looks like we might get a chance at some sunny weather on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. It is 46 degrees right now. Coming up, Chris Sullivan with a choke point. Some good news for those who take I-5 South in DuPont. This is KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
After voters made it clear they want change.
That I will faithfully conduct myself as the mayor of the city of Seattle.
What should Seattle residents expect from Mayor Katie Wilson?
She talked a lot about our affordability crisis.
Northwest News voices you depend on.
It's a misdiagnosis of the problem. You believe government can solve this problem.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. The KIRO Newsradio app with opinion and analysis at mynorthwest.com.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Let's go!
Now, Choke Points with Chris Solomon.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
All right, Sully. So we had earlier this week how it's going to be months of hell going across the Ship Canal Bridge starting this weekend.
Yep.
But there might be a little bright spot for drivers in the South Sound.
Yeah, there's always good and bad.
Yeah.
But this is what we call the birth of an interchange.
Okay.
Happy Parents, WashDOT, and I-5. But down in the DuPont area, drivers should be getting a crack at the new interchange at the Silicon-DuPont Road here maybe in a couple of weeks. The Washington Department of Transportation is expecting to open the new southbound access to this new interchange by the middle of the month.
This is a partial turn on. One of the benefits of this is it helps us accelerate the construction schedule, get the work done. We're on time. We're on schedule with this.
WashDOT's Doug Adamson says a new roundabout just north of the freeway will also open at the same time. This is a new exit for southbound drivers, so you need to be paying attention. Drivers heading to DuPont on southbound I-5 will take a right to that new roundabout. Drivers heading to JBLM will take a left from this new exit. Now, northbound drivers coming up into the area will continue to use the old exit and overpass, as will drivers in JBLM looking to get to DuPont or southbound I-5.
Later on in spring, we'll fully open the new overpass, and we'll have the demolition of the existing overpass, which is low. It doesn't meet our standards. It's been hit before by two tall trucks.
It was built in 1957, so they need to take care of that. The removal of that old overpass will take several overnight closures of I-5. Those dates haven't been released, but we're looking at the spring time frame. This new overpass will also drop drivers off on the other side of the railroad tracks, which is a really good thing. That will eliminate backups and increase safety.
This new overpass will actually go over the railroad tracks where the trains are going at 79 miles an hour.
Yeah, so that's always a good thing to try to really get rid of that conflict point. The new HOV lanes between Gravelly Lake Drive and Mounts Road, which are also part of this project, are expected to open over the summer, which is also a very good thing. This is the final piece of construction that has added the new overpasses and HOV lanes through JBLM over the last couple of years. It has made the drive through the area better, but not without a little pain.
We understand fully that we are moving the bottleneck. Let's have a reality check here. It will, though, however, have a significant improvement for people serving our country at Joint Base Lewis McChord.
If you've ever driven southbound I-5 through this area, especially like on a Friday afternoon as everyone's kind of heading down to the beach, slowly but surely the backup starts further south as you go, as they've kind of moved this project further south. And once this project wraps up, southbound I-5 will, of course, slim back down to 3 lanes between Mounts Road down into Lacey. And, of course, that will continue to move the congestion a little bit, but it's kind of cleaning things out through the area. But of course, that backup will not really disappear until WashDOT takes up the next piece of the puzzle, which is widening I-5 in both directions all the way through Nisqually. That project, of course, requires new bridges over the Nisqually River. Initial work on that is just getting going. The project's years away. They don't have any funding for it. They really haven't started designing or doing the environmental work of what it'll be like going through that very sensitive environmental area. But this is good news. We're opening up a new interchange here over the next, for southbound drivers here in a couple weeks, and then for everybody else in a couple of months. So that's always some positive when road work wraps up.
That HOV lane ever going to work down there?
It's interesting.
Come on, man.
It works really good until you get, as I said, it's just further south where the backup starts. I mean, it used to go and then, you'd back up getting through, say, Bridgeport. And then now it doesn't happen until you're kind of south of the main gate. And then it's kind of pushed down towards DuPont. And when this is wrapped up, it'll be right around Mounts Road where we'll see the backup starting. So, adding that provides a little bit of extra capacity, a little bit of different, availability for people to do it. So it's a good thing. But yeah, that whole freeway needs to be widened all the way down through Lacey and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, it works when it works. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as Doug admits, they know they're just moving things down the road a little bit.
It has to be tough. I was down in Puyallup yesterday at the fairgrounds, actually, and I headed back north on 167. And I'm looking around. A lot of stuff is blocked off, markings and stuff like that. Turns out, WashDOT just put this out. On Monday, they're going to open 4 miles of northbound 167 for hot lanes.
Yeah. Well,
it's all getting marked now.
Almost close to 6 miles now.
Yep.
And if you think about it, that tolling equipment and tolling operation was supposed to go active in October when it went active from Auburn up to Renton, but it was postponed after the bridge strike. They didn't think it was fair to start tolling people when there was only like 1 lane open during those. So now, that'll go active on Monday now that all the lanes have reopened there. So you'll be able to drive into a hot lane from Sumner all the way into Renton come Monday. So
get ready to pay up, folks.
Yeah, and again, reminder, you'll need a flex pass in there to drive in that lane for free, or you will be charged the toll.
All right.
Yeah. But so there, the work was obvious there.
It was very obvious.
Good.
And getting onto 167, I had stopped at the Fred Meyer there in Puyallup, and then they have this interesting way of getting onto the freeway. Very confusing right now. So hopefully they'll get those markings all figured out.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll happen, and people will adapt.
Okay. Well, I just get worried about this sort of stuff.
I know you do.
Silly. All right.
It's 524, and we're going to warm up to 50 degrees today, but we're going to be mostly dry. Coming up next, we are going to hear from Paul Holden on your weekend planner. This is KIRO Newsradio.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company. Pure Talk.
All right, here's a quick confession. The reason Nick, my wife, is going to Longevity Medical Clinic is because why?
I got sick of watching you sleep at night when I was awake.
Wait a minute. Here's what would happen. I'd be asleep because I've got my hormones balanced thanks to Longevity Medical Clinic. I'm asleep, and then Nick would go, "Are you asleep? Are you sleeping? That's not fair. I can't sleep." I'm like, "So you're going to wake me up?"
Yes, because I didn't want you to have more energy than I would the next day, and I was up all night.
So what did I say to you? I said, so go to the Longevity Medical Clinic. Do the same thing I did. Get your hormones balanced. You'll sleep better, right?
And I did.
Right. You don't have to wake me up anymore and go, it's not fair that you're sleeping.
I know.
But didn't you see that it wasn't fair that you were waking me up?
Yes, because now you're the one taking the dogs out because I'm still asleep in the morning.
So we're both getting good night's sleep. We're both getting lots of energy, and we're happy.
You don't want me to tell you why? Because my hormones are now balanced.
Okay, I don't want to hear about your hormones right now. So be like Nick and get a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Styles change. 12s grow. But Seahawks love? That's forever. From the young fans in their fresh new jerseys to the lifelong 12s in their throwback jackets. At the Pro Shop, we've got gear for 12s of every age and every walk of life. This is the Pro Shop. Shop official Seahawks gear in-store at Lumen Field and The Landing in Renton, or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Every season is a little bit different here in Washington, but I'll tell you what, the amount of rain never seems to change in the winter, and we have sure gotten a ton of it this season. All that rain, all that water, it's all got to go somewhere. And if it makes its way into your crawl space, that's when it can create all sorts of problems, including real structural damage, which could really affect your home. But more importantly, for the health of your family, the water in that crawl space could create toxic mold, and that has serious health repercussions. Thankfully, we have Crawl Pros. They can come in and keep your crawl space dry, install a sump pump and drainage, and reroute that water back out and away from your home. They'll also take care of any mold that may have been created. Don't take the risk. It's too important. The best way to learn if you have any water is to ask Crawl Pros to visit your home and inspect your crawl space for free. Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to. So if you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A moo-moo is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Confidence with winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety can handle rainy commutes and icy roads. Find stress-free pricing and a stress-free experience at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO News Radio, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS. Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. In Minnesota, state investigators said the FBI has shut them out of the investigation into Wednesday's shooting of a 37-year-old mother by an ICE agent. CBS News correspondent Usher Qureshi has been following this very closely.
Initially, what we were told was this was supposed to be a joint investigation, obviously led by the FBI, but also inclusive of state authorities. And what we were told by those state authorities is that the FBI has essentially blocked them from access to evidence, case material, interviews, body cam, etc. And as a result, they've said that they can't conduct an independent investigation.
The U.S. Senate, has advanced a resolution that would limit President Trump's ability to conduct more attacks against Venezuela. Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray spoke in favor of the new war powers resolution.
First, Trump was just bombing alleged drug boats. Then Trump was just seizing oil shipments. And the next thing you know, this administration is sending the military to abduct a foreign leader.
Analysts say the resolution has little chance of passing the U.S. House. In a remarkable rebuke of Republican leadership, though, the U.S. House of Representatives passed legislation Thursday that would extend expired health care subsidies for those who get coverage through the Affordable Care Act. 17 GOP lawmakers joined every Democrat in support. Forcing the issue to a vote came about after a handful of Republicans signed on to a so-called discharge petition to unlock debate, bypassing objections from House Speaker Mike Johnson. The bill now goes to the Senate, where pressure is building for a bipartisan compromise. Again, this is all about enhanced tax credits, which make premiums for individual health care plans less expensive, and that expired at the end of 2025 after they were not renewed by Congress. A warning about potential measles exposures in King and Snohomish counties. One adult and 3 children visiting from South Carolina after Christmas got sick. They visited multiple locations in Marysville, Mukilteo, and Everett while they were contagious. But before their diagnosis, they also flew in and out of SeaTac Airport. Measles is extremely contagious, but preventable with a vaccine. Infection rates are at their highest levels since 1992. Young children are especially vulnerable and can suffer serious side effects. You can find more, including exposure sites, at mynorthwest.com. It is 5:33 and it's time to check traffic, and we're still looking really good. Speed limit drive pretty much anywhere you want to go right now. Tacoma to Seattle, 38 minutes. Everett to Seattle, we are 35 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue. Well, let's get Bellevue to Renton right now. It's 19 minutes. Bothell to Bellevue is just 20 minutes. Now let's get your weather check. Mostly cloudy today, high of 50 degrees, a little bit breezy, but not too bad. Overnight lows in the high 30s and showers late on Saturday with a high of 50 degrees. This is KIRO News Radio, and I am Jillian Raftery.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Another winter weekend has arrived, and if you're looking for something fun to do, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has you covered.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
It's
It's our first weekend of the new year without any lingering holiday parties, so you might be looking for something to do? Well, you're in luck. There's still plenty going on. It's the perfect time of year to start planning a vacation for you and the family. If you're looking for the next best destination, head to the Travel and Adventure Show at the Seattle Convention Center this weekend. The show runs all weekend long and features travel experts who can help you plan for your next adventure, panels and speakers to help you get helpful tips before you head out, and there will be lots of chances to save some money on a trip. Find more details at the event's website. At the Doubletree SeaTac, you will find the latest and greatest in the world of board and card games at OrcaCon. This weekend-long convention is round-the-clock gaming, special guest panels, tournaments, and demos of upcoming titles. Looking to skip the traffic? Light Rail will get you right to the event. Get tickets and details at orcacon.org. That's not the only big event for card collectors this weekend. At the University of Washington on Saturday, you'll find the Emerald City Card Show. Over 150 vendors will be at the Husky Union Building selling sports cards, Pokemon cards, collectibles, art, and much more. If you've been looking for just the right card to complete your collection, odds are you'll find it there. If you're looking to watch something a little different this weekend, head to the Northwest Film Forum where you'll find 7 short films from the 2025 Sundance Film Festival. This is the 2025 Sundance Film Festival short film tour, and it's about 100 minutes of short films from across the world. The event's website says this tour presents a special opportunity to discover a collection of fiction, nonfiction, and animated shorts brimming with humor, emotion, and inspiration. Showtime is at 7 o'clock tonight, as well as 4 and 7 on Saturday and Sunday. Get more details at nwfilmforum.org. Bundle up and get your steps in while enjoying artwork from the community during the free art walks this weekend. These self-guided tours are taking place across Seattle, with one in Belltown tonight and Ballard and Georgetown hosting on Saturday. It's a quiet weekend for sports here in town as the 12s await who the Seattle Seahawks will play in the divisional round of the playoffs right here in Seattle at Lumen Field, in case you didn't hear. But if you want to catch some hoops this weekend, the University of Washington men's basketball team has a big game against the Ohio State Buckeyes on Sunday, tip-off at 3 p.m. How are you starting your 2026? Let me know at paulh@KIROradio.com. Paul Holden, KIRO News Radio.
Coming up, national headlines. I'm Jillian Raftery, and you're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist managing high expectations.
Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. And the KIRO News Radio app.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Rod Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Veterans, the new year's a good time to re-examine finances. If you're struggling with bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says he may have a solution.
Many veterans are sitting on a lot of home equity, and even with a low mortgage rate, your total monthly payments may be a struggle. The good news is with today's lower VA loan rates, you can do a VA cash-out refinance and pay off your high-interest rate debt and roll everything into one low monthly payment. For example, one VA client saved more than $1,200 per month. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. Whether you're a veteran or seeking a conventional loan, you'll talk directly to me or an experienced senior advisor, never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust. From Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. 425-649-6000.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
CBS News Brief. Protests in Portland, Oregon now after federal agents shot and wounded 2 people in a traffic stop targeting suspected Venezuelan gang members. Governor Tina Kotek.
Federal agents at the direction of the Department of Homeland Security are shattering trust. They are hurting people and they are destroying day by day what we hold dear.
The shooting comes as federal officials take the lead in the investigation into Wednesday's ICE shooting that killed a woman in Minneapolis. Vice President Vance.
That very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive?
President Trump said this morning he is canceling follow-up attacks on Venezuela after the release of many of the nation's political prisoners. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
It's 5:43, and right now it is about 46 degrees in downtown Seattle. Coming up, Congressman Adam Smith explains the latest on U.S. involvement in Venezuela, plus his reaction to the ICE shootings in Minneapolis. This is KIRO News Radio.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car
ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Take the next step to becoming a Seahawks season ticket holder. Join the season ticket holder notification list to secure your spot in line. By signing up, you'll be the first to know when space becomes available on the official Blue Pride waitlist. Plus, receive team news, special ticket offers, and more. Visit Seahawks.com/season tickets to sign up today.
For more than 75 years, the VA Home Loan Benefit has helped millions of eligible veterans and service members achieve their piece of the American dream, a home for their families. Did you know that you could purchase a home or refinance your current home loan with your VA Home Loan Benefit? VA home loans have lower closing costs and generally enjoy lower interest rates than other borrowers. The VA home loan may save you thousands of dollars on your mortgage. For more information, visit www.va.gov or talk to a lender of your choice. Choose VA.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
I've wanted to talk to this guy all week, and I'm glad we finally been able to make it happen this morning. It has been a busy week in military and foreign affairs. U.S. seized 2 oil tankers yesterday amidst the continued involvement in Venezuela. We have this proposed involvement in Greenland, and joining us now to break it all down is Congressman Adam Smith, the top Democrat, the ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee. Adam, thank you for joining us this morning. Before we talk about that, I saw you on CNN yesterday, just with your initial reaction to situation in Minneapolis. Maybe you can share with the audience just what you're feeling right now after seeing that video.
Yeah, no, it's a very scary time, and I think this is just the obvious and terrible outcome of the way Trump has approached law enforcement. I mean, frankly, we see it also in the way he has approached the use of our military with the boat strikes in the Caribbean, whereby there seems to be no accountability. And the message going out to all law enforcement and military personnel is, do what you got to do. There are no rules. There will be no accountability. Be as tough and as strong and as forceful as possible. Look, when you are in the military or in law enforcement, that's an incredible responsibility. To have you are empowered by the government to take someone's life if necessary. You should take that responsibility really seriously and work very carefully to make sure that you don't use it unless it's absolutely necessary. And the cavalier language coming from Kristi Noem and coming from Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, I mean, he did this ridiculous video of Yertle the turtle blowing up drug traffickers, making a joke out of it, creates a culture that doesn't have accountability and leads to this type of an excessive use of force. That is my opinion. This is an absolute tragedy in Minnesota. It does not strike me as a one-off. It strikes me as a pattern in terms of how the Trump administration seems to think they should enforce the law. It is a violation of the rights of the American people and incredibly dangerous for all of us.
Let's move on to Venezuela, Congressman, because I think a lot of us woke up on Saturday morning rather surprised by what had just transpired. Did you wake up surprised Saturday morning?
I wasn't that surprised. I mean, I didn't see it coming. They didn't tell me about it. But given what Trump has said and the way he has behaved elsewhere, he is given to bold, rash, short-term actions. So it didn't shock me given the rhetoric that had led up to it.
What is your thinking now that you've been briefed on it? You're one of the few members of the House or Senate who got a briefing on this. What is your takeaway now that you've heard the administration's rationale?
Yeah, well, it's created a very dangerous situation. And the thing is, you can't just look at that operation to remove Maduro in isolation. You have to look at what Trump has said. First, about Venezuela. In the immediate aftermath of this, he said, we are running Venezuela and they need to give us their oil. Okay, that was his message. At the same time, you have legitimate opposition leaders. You have, I'm forgetting the guy's name now, who won the election in 2024 that Maduro stole. And then you have Maria Machado, who was barred from running in that election. She is the real leader of the opposition, who just won the Nobel Peace Prize. And Trump pushed both of them aside. And now we have in power, basically the Maduro regime is still in power. His vice president has stepped up and taken over. And we appear to be focused on cutting a deal to get Venezuela's oil, which we're well on the way to doing. But look, the legitimate reasons to be concerned about Maduro is he has destroyed the country. And that has led to problems for the region all the way up to us. I mean, the economy has been completely collapsed. Chavez got that started by taking over everything, every business, and then just stealing the money for his cronies and running those businesses into the ground. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 million people have fled Venezuela in desperation. And that's created a migrant problem for us in the entire region. It has also empowered drug cartels and human traffickers by giving them a population that, well, number one, can't control them, and number two, is desperate for whatever work they can find. Major, major problem. But removing Maduro and putting his underlings in power just so they will give us their oil doesn't help Venezuela. And then the broader message where Trump talks about how, well, we should take Panama, we should take Colombia, we should take Cuba, we should take Greenland, we should annex Canada. That message of Western might makes right imperialism undermines the rule of law, not just in Latin America, but across the world. And also, it kind of empowers our adversaries, because what brought Chavez and Castro, for that matter, to power was Western imperialism. And the fact that we were actively involved down there and created economies that left masses of people in poverty. They were desperate for an alternative. So they turned to what turned out to be a horrible alternative, which was Castro and Chavez. Now here we are walking back in, restarting that cycle, instead of coming back in and saying, we have a plan to help Latin America build a better broad-based economy. There's a number of other problems with this, but I'll stop there. I think that's enough to work on for the moment.
Congressman, does this raise any concern for you? I think of Russia watching this right now and saying, well, okay, maybe we can just go grab Zelensky if that's something that the United States did. I'm not trying to compare the two necessarily, but does this give free rein?
Yeah, no, look, and there's this long, long history lesson, which I don't have time to get into. But prior to World War II, basically, this was sort of the way the world worked. Might made right. The cliche line from foreign policy experts was, the strong take what they can, the weak suffer what they must. There's no rule of law. There's no sovereignty. The more powerful countries take what they want and do what they want. And that led to a whole series of world wars, the last one of which very nearly exterminated the planet. So when it ended, we were like, maybe we should try something different. So we put in place sovereignty as a cornerstone principle, and also international institutions to resolve differences instead of force. And Stephen Miller summed up the Trump way of looking at the world best a couple of days ago, which is screw all of that. It's a jungle out there, people. We're back to Thomas Hobbes' nasty, brutish, and short life, where the powerful take what they want. We're going to try and do that. And yes, that absolutely sends a message to Putin and Xi and every other wannabe, dictator out there in the world who thinks they can build up an army and go take what they want. So yes, it absolutely has problems that go beyond just Trump's desire to dominate the Western Hemisphere.
Speaking of Greenland, there has been talk of, military intervention there. There's been talk of buying Greenland. What do you make of all this talk?
Yeah, well, a couple of big things about it. First of all, the dishonesty in being a Trump supporter these days is he says this stuff, and then Marco Rubio comes out and says, well, no, he's just talking about buying Greenland. People have been talking about buying Greenland, for over 150 years. And he's not wrong about that second part. Seward back in the day after he bought Alaska, apparently had some interest in buying Greenland. A couple other presidents have as well. And that's all well and good. I mean, Greenland is absolutely strategically important for a whole bunch of different reasons, but that's not what Trump said. Trump is the first president we've had. Even in the 19th century, we didn't say that we were going to take it by force. Trump has said blatantly he is not ruling out using military force to take Greenland from, first of all, the Greenland people there who live there, but second of all, from Denmark, which actually controls it, that is a close NATO ally. So Trump threatening the use of force against a NATO ally undermines all of our security arrangements and in the partnerships and allies that we have built. Because that's the other problem with might makes right. You tend to wind up going it alone. Our great strength as a foreign power for the last 80 years, and even during World War II for that matter, is the partnerships and alliances that we have built. Threatening one of those core partners, and a very reliable partner, by the way, with military force to take territory from them, undermines everything we're trying to do.
Congressman Adam Smith, we look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks for joining us.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people, make it work for them.
Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO Newsradio app.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or pick some up today at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery. Are now available at Wegmans. New year, new you, new Nordic.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st, for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We are getting more insight into a shooting by a Border Patrol agent at a traffic stop in Portland, Oregon. Comes from a dispatch call.
It looks like caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
Agents say the driver tried to run one of them over with a car when they were detained in a targeted stop on a suspected Venezuelan gang member. The mayor of Minneapolis is expected to have more to say next hour about the ICE shooting involving a mother of three. CBS's Usher Qureshi.
Initially, what we were told was this was supposed to be a joint investigation, obviously led by the FBI, but also inclusive of state authorities. And what we were told by those state authorities is that the FBI has essentially blocked them from access to evidence, case material, interviews, body cam, etc. And as a result, they've said that they can't conduct an independent investigation.
Avelo Airlines says it'll stop providing deportation flights for ICE.
Avelo says its deal with ICE has not made it enough money, so it will shut down its migrant flight hub at Mesa Gateway Airport in Phoenix later this month. Avelo has caught a lot of heat from immigration advocates and some lawmakers. New York Democratic State Senator Pat Fahey introduced the Safe Air Act,
which targets Avelo and any airline that is violating constitutional fundamental rights of their passengers.
The bill would block airlines that provide deportation flights from contracting with the state. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Labor Department reports employers added 50,000 jobs to close out the year in December. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
It's a little bit less than the 60,000 expected, but well within the range of expectations. But for the year, job creation really did slow down.
Getting the blame, uncertainty over the economy and AI. 2 people have been killed, 36 are missing after an avalanche of garbage at a landfill in the Philippines collapsed. The BBC's Jonathan Head.
This enormous, colossal avalanche of waste came down the hillside and crushed buildings that are related to the waste management facility. And they're finding it very, very difficult to trace the people who are still buried there. It's obviously very unpleasant material to go through. They've got construction equipment up there.
Officials say 13 people were rescued alive. One of them died later. Lawsuit dismissed against Universal Music.
Here I go, here I go, here I go again.
A federal judge in New York has tossed Salt and Peppa's legal action, accusing the label of refusing to honor their legal right to reclaim ownership of their master recordings. The judge calls the claim baseless. Dow futures up 145. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
ICE shooting in Portland. We head there live after we check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we are starting the day with a crash up in the Bothell area on southbound 405 as you make your way right past 195th and Beardsley. 2 right lanes are blocked, so that means only the express toll lane is open. And we're starting to see a backup now heading up towards Canyon Park. So we'll hopefully be out of this one quickly, but haven't gotten good eyes on it yet. But we do have a backup of at least 10 minutes. So give yourself about 45 minutes to go from Everett to Bellevue, 35 from Everett to Seattle. The rest of the map looks really good for this early Friday morning. 35 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, Federal Way to Seattle, about 35 as well from Puyallup up to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is only 15. The Lake Bridges are good. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Thanks for joining us this Friday. In Portland, Border Patrol agents shot a husband and wife, a man and woman, during a traffic stop yesterday. Conditions unknown. Circumstances surrounding the shooting still unclear. Protesters gathered yesterday evening outside the ICE facility in Portland, and that's where we find KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey, who joins us live. Luke, what do you see?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yeah, a live look this morning on our YouTube feed, as you can see, of the ICE facility this morning. No protesters out here yet. A lot of media. You can see covering the scene here. I do want to kind of just show you around, give you the lay of the land, because we've been here in weeks past where protests have really picked up. Usually right here along the sidewalk next to that ICE facility is kind of like a tent city where protesters camp out. That's gone now, but there are signs of that, remembering the person who was killed in Minneapolis, Renee Nicole Good, with some cans on the sidewalk. But here last night, this was the scene of maybe about 100 protesters. As you probably know, it's that area right there where they gather. This is where there's ICE cars, agents go in and out of that gate right there every day, all morning. And what their protesters try to do is block them, and that's part of their protest. Again, no one here right now, but yesterday, you can kind of feel it here in Portland, a little tension, even though there is no one here. Homeland Security says the Customs and Border agents shot those two people. They claim they tried to run at least one agent over at the scene, not too far from here, a couple of miles up north from where I'm standing. They say it happened during a targeted arrest and that the two were members of a Venezuelan gang. Those two people were shot and taken to different hospitals. No word on their condition yet. Again, last night, this was the scene of protesters here, at least 100 in front of those gates. Many times you'll see them up there. You'll see guards up on the second level there, and the third, fourth, and sometimes on the roof, looking down at protesters, and sometimes they'll shoot paint bullets at them if they get too close to the ICE facility, cross a line that they're not supposed to cross. And of course, boots on the ground, agents there on the ground who are trying to clear the way to let vehicles go in and out. Protesters often get in their face right there, and that's where the confrontation happens. Again, this is also the scene where not only have there been demonstrations, but this is where those National Guard troops came that were reported on about a month ago. President Trump then said he would be pulling those troops out of Portland. They're not here now, obviously, but that's the latest here on the ground. We'll be here all morning long, bringing you the latest from Portland. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
All right, thank you, Luke. On the Seattle waterfront last night, hundreds of people gathered to remember Renee Good. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao was there.
A lot of frustration over the killing of Renee Good. There's hundreds, if not 1,000 people that have gathered here at Pier 58 at the waterfront, honoring the wife and mother of three. Now, advocacy groups have been taking turns at the podium, speaking out, calling for solidarity and justice and reform.
Meantime, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson condemned an ICE operation in North Seattle.
I am furious at the federal government's abuse of power.
More from KIRO News Radio's Aaron Granillo.
Mayor Wilson says armed agents in an unmarked vehicle detained 3 men at a cemetery along Aurora Avenue Wednesday morning. Wilson acknowledges the city has little authority over immigration enforcement.
So I'm working with Police Chief Barnes, City Attorney Evans, immigrant rights groups, and local leaders to identify every possible legal argument, public resource, and creative tool we can use to keep the people of Seattle safe.
No details on the people who were detained by ICE, but City Council member Bob Kettle says it appears federal agents first confronted those men at a Home Depot. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
In fact, this is what Kettle had to say.
I don't think we need full battle rattle at the Home Depot on Aurora. I don't think we need that type of approach, mask and with that kind of, tactical gear.
We have reached out to ICE and Border Patrol for comment.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Friday morning. Thanks for being here. It is January 9th. Charlie Harger with you. Manda Factor out today. Sully is here, though, getting ready for traffic on the threes. And you've got the Oregon Ducks playing tonight.
Yeah, the second semifinal against Indiana. Hopefully it's as good as last night's game between Miami and Ole Miss. That one went down to the wire.
Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah, I kind of wish the other team had won. Not a big fan of Miami.
No, a lot of us longtime Husky fans are not either.
Yeah.
A lot of rivalry in the
understand.
90s. Okay, well, anyway, we will be paying attention to that. Of course, we will be down in Portland all morning long with Luke Ducey as he's gathering information. Again, 2 people shot by Border Patrol agents, and that city is on edge right now. This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. Coming up this hour of the show, our friend Brock Heward joins us to explain the future of the QB position for the UW. Surprising turn between the school and quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. Brock is a former UW quarterback himself and helps us break down the situation. Plus, we'll have KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden with a weekend planner. The U.S. Senate has advanced a resolution that would limit President Trump's ability to conduct more attacks against Venezuela. Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray, a Democrat, spoke in favor of the War Powers resolution. She says the president has gone too far.
First, Trump was just bombing alleged drug boats. Then Trump was just seizing oil shipments. And the next thing you know, this administration is sending the military to abduct a foreign leader.
Analysts say the resolution has little chance of passing the U.S. House, where Republicans like Washington Congressman Michael Baumgartner say President Trump did the right thing by toppling a narco-terrorist. A 17-year-old Shoreline boy pleads not guilty to killing a 15-year-old girl who went missing last year. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
King County prosecutors charged 17-year-old Kamaria Onaki with the murder of 15-year-old Ajane Brooks. Brooks was found dead last June in a Shoreline apartment 3 days after she went missing. Casey McNerthney with the King County prosecutor's office says he is being held on $5 million bail.
When you see the added allegation that he was attempting to sexually exploit the victim before her death, the reasons for that high bail amount are even more apparent.
Charges include murder with a firearm enhancement, human trafficking, and felony assault. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Quick look at some of the other stories we're following. Families of 4 University of Idaho students killed in 2022 are suing Washington State University, claiming the school ignored 13 complaints about killer Brian Kohberger. Governor Ferguson and former Governor Inslee are clashing over climate money. Ferguson wants to pull $559 million from the fund for tax credits. Inslee calls it a breach of faith. A jury deliberating right now whether Seattle is liable for the death of a teenager shot during the CHOP protests in 2020. And a bill in the legislature would let cities open and run their own grocery stores in so-called food deserts. This week's winter storm delivered. Here's KIRO 7 TV Chief Meteorologist Morgan Palmer.
A lot of snow, and we needed it up in the mountains. Storm totals, give or take a few inches, because these were a little bit earlier. We've had a little bit of snow since then, but 35 inches at Paradise, 27 Snoqualmie Pass, 25 or so at Stevens. That's good news.
And almost here. Revive I-5, as WashDOT calls it, or as Chris Sullivan calls it, months of hell. You want to try doing it better than me?
No, it's just months of hell.
Okay. Tonight, all northbound lanes of I-5 shut down from I-90 to Northeast 45th Street until 5 a.m. Monday. Here's State Transportation Secretary Julie Meredith.
That could mean finding alternative routes, leaving early or staying late, allowing more time to travel, taking transit when possible.
And then starting Monday, those work zones will be down to 2 lanes going across the Ship Canal Bridge northbound through 2026. I mean, I guess there's like a month open, Sully, for
about 6 weeks for the World Cup.
For the World Cup.
So we have 2 5-month chunks of hell.
It's going to be rough. All right, let's take a look at the weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Today is going to be mostly cloudy. We might have some sun breaks, highs in the 50s. Showers make a comeback late tomorrow. Low 50s for a high. Then rain is likely on Sunday and Monday. Could be heavy at times. A bit of an atmospheric river setup is what they're saying. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 45. At 6:13, let's go to Chris Sullivan for traffic.
We've got a big problem on southbound 405. What is blocking everything but the express toll lane on southbound 405 at 195th is going to be with us for a while. You know those big double dump trucks?
Yes.
It's never good when the back half of one rolls over. So we've got the second dump load there. Fortunately, it looks like it's empty. I don't think, because I don't see the debris on the roadway. Of course, my cameras aren't great, but the back half of that dump truck is basically across the 2 lanes. So only the express toll lane is getting by. We're already up to 50 minutes from Everett to Bellevue. When you compare that to the 35 or less from Everett to Seattle, you're dealing with at least a 15-minute delay. I would avoid 405 right now if you can. The rest of the map, Friday light. We're looking at Tacoma to Federal Way of about 15 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle's only 35. Valley Freeway is under 40. Renton to Bellevue is only 15. The Lake Bridges are quiet. Olympia to Tacoma has no issues either at about 35 minutes. So everywhere is good except that southbound 405 drive. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text APP to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
A lot of drama around Montlake this week. UW quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. announced earlier in the week he was going to enter the college football transfer portal. That got a lot of pushback from the UW saying he had signed a contract. Thought we would bring in a former star UW quarterback and host of the Brock and Sock Show on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Brock Heward, thanks for joining us. Just give us a little context. What did you make of all of this drama?
Well, I'm no contract law specialist. I'm not that, Charlie. So I have a challenge there because that seemed to be where some of this went from a technicality standpoint. Like, wow, is this an employee contract? Is this a services contract? All I know is this: when that went down, both Jed Fish, along with everybody at the University of Washington, said, hold on just a second. You signed this deal. You'd already negotiated it. Other schools had already tampered because he had not gone into the portal, but he knew his value, and that value was roughly $4 million, which is an incredible sum of money. And when he signed that dotted line, it was very clear to the folks on the UW side, like, this is as black and white as it gets. This will prohibit you from further negotiating and further going into the portal. And he signed that deal. And that was January 2nd. And as you mentioned, a couple days later, he decides then, contracts. What are contracts? I'm gonna go in this portal anyway because either Ole Miss or Miami is going to pay me even more money. From what I understand, as they continue to tamper, and the UW said, "Yeah, we can't do this. We can't set this precedent. We'll have to fight it." And I'm sorry, DeMond, we're not going to let you enter the portal. And if you want to seek legal remedies, we are as well. And lawyer up. And at that point, his agent left him. His agent, who, by the way, was the agent for Marshawn Lynch and many in the town here, said, yeah, I'm not going to side with DeMond on this. He's wrong. And I'm out. And I think at that point, finally, the family and other folks that were in his ear said, yeah, this is a case we can't win. You better apologize and hopefully mend a lot of fences.
I've never been a college quarterback, Brock, but it seems to me this is something that is just a nuke that has gone off in the locker room.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to have to earn back a lot of equity and trust, kind of like you did on those stairs, and doing the planks and doing the wall sits with me, Charlie. Like you and I earned a lot of trust.
Yes, I think so.
You work out together, you become teammates together and all that good stuff. Yeah, he is. The timing of when he did it as well at the funeral of a student athlete who was lost to cancer was absolutely about the worst timing you could possibly announce it. There were a lot of teammates outraged, a lot of alumni, a lot of Tyee Club, a lot of donors. Still very, very outraged at this. And yet I think Jed and the school will say, listen, he's 19 years old. He made a terrible decision. He made a terrible mistake. He had terrible judgment. He had bad actors in his ear. And this is the state of college football. This wasn't meant for 17, 18, and 19-year-olds to deal with millions and millions of dollars, right? We have watched that with professional athletes make a lot of really bad decisions. This was a bad decision, and the consequence is he's going to have to earn back a lot of trust.
All right, Brock, how did we get here? I mean, you know me. I'm a college football guy, spent my life loving this sport. You said some things is like, wow, when did pro sports all of a sudden become the one with loyalty? And, how did we get, I know the long answer, but it's like, man, this is not the sport I love.
Chris, this is not even pro sports. pro sports now feels pure, feels right, feels loyal. We have stars that stick around, that don't go in a portal every single year, and as transactional as this has become. This is what happens when deregulation comes. This is what happens when there's no guardrails, when there's no rules, when there's no regulation, when there's no leadership, when there's no collectively bargained agreement. I could go on, Chris, but it's, once the NCAA lost that Supreme Court case 9-0, they threw their hands up and said, we're out. We're out. And in their place has come nobody. Has come greed, has come commissioners, has come, conference realignment and destruction, which has also been a disaster. So, yeah, this is beyond the wild, wild west.
How do we get back? I mean, is there a chance to get back, or is it too far gone?
Well, I wonder if incidents like this, these train wreck moments like this, the train wreck that has been, Lane Kiffin during the offseason and leaving his team in the playoffs and all, I just wonder at some point, the most powerful people in the sport are the networks at Disney and Fox, and followed by the commissioners of the Big Ten and the SEC. Those are the significant power brokers. And until they come together in that leadership, and then it's followed by the coaches, and the coaches that have to honor their contracts and have a lot stronger language with that. Until some of those forces come in play, Chris, I don't see anything, unfortunately, changing anytime soon.
All right, Brock, while we have you, we're, a week and a half away from one of the bigger games of the year for the Seahawks. In fact, I will say it is the biggest game of 2026 for the Seahawks. What are you looking for?
Yeah, we're only 8 or 9 days away, really, Charlie. We'll get to watch everybody else play 6 playoff games beginning Saturday and Sunday and into Monday night. So the first thing is, who the heck are they going to play? And is it going to be is it going to be the triad with the Rams right out the gate in the divisional round, or will it be somebody else, and more than likely the third edition of the Rams Seahawks in the NFC title game? That's kind of where my gut and my hunch leads. I know this, Charlie, that history has taught us when the playoffs go through Seattle in 2005, when I was there and around that, and obviously 13 and 14 doing my current job, I know that all 3 occasions when the Seahawks host like this as the number 1 seed, they have made it to the Super Bowl. And that is my expectation. And wow, would that get 26 off to a roaring start.
And Brock, I know Charlie wants me to ask this because there's no way in heck I would ask you this question because I have too much respect for you. He wants to know if you're going to be cheering for Oregon tonight.
For who?
You're the Hoosiers. Yeah, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that whole back to pack thing, that was a struggle for, I think, a lot of us back in the day. But I will say this, man, Dan has done an amazing job down there, Chris. And he's kept his players and the culture that Dan Lanning has built. I am not rooting against them. I'll say that. I'm rooting kind of like last night. Give me another epic game down to the final play. That would be pretty cool here in the national semifinals.
All right, Brock Heward, we need to stick you back in the transfer portal. Off to 710 Seattle Sports you go.
Better deal there.
Charlie. You got it, Chris. See you, boys.
And we should say Oregon is playing what? Is it Indiana tonight?
Yeah, the number 1 team in the nation.
Okay.
Indiana. A rematch of a game they played down in Autzen earlier this year, which Indiana won by 10.
This is a semifinal.
Yeah,
so
the winner goes to the national championship to take on Miami, which beat Ole Miss last night.
Arguably, though, the national championship has already happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody really cares about the purest of football, that would be Montana State beating Illinois State on Monday night earlier this week, yes.
It's 6:22.
We all know.
6:22, Rock fans, it may be time to make a bank withdrawal.
Here are 4 of the nicest youngsters we've ever had on our stage. The Beatles, bring them on.
A massive collection of popular music memorabilia from late Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay is going up for sale at Christie's in March. It includes the drum set Ringo Starr played on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. For Kurt Cobain fans, the 1966 Fender Mustang guitar the late grunge rocker played in the video for Smells Like Teen Spirit. All of the items, including Muhammad Ali's heavyweight championship belt from 1974's Rumble in the Jungle, will be on display at Christie's in New York City in March. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News, New York.
It's 6:23. We head over to the traffic desk for traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
My high school jersey's at that auction. Just so you can probably get it for a lot less than any of those things.
$350?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, $350. The drive right now, boy, we've got a problem on southbound 405. Do not get on southbound 405 from Canyon Park down through Bothell. Avoid it if you can. And this is going to be for the morning. We have a double dump truck where the back half rolled, and it's just sitting there in the two lanes, the left lane and the right lane, and the only thing getting by is the express toll lane. And yes, you can use it to get around this. So plan on big time delays. It's already a 50-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue. That's 15 minutes plus just through that little 3-mile backup. You look at Everett to Seattle, it's only 35 minutes. So if you're coming down from Everett and you've got a choice, stay to the right and go to I-5 and just keep going, and then worry about getting back over to the east side somewhere else. That's nasty. The other spot we have, and I can use some help from my drivers, it looks like we might have something at the off-ramp to Seneca on northbound I-5. It is really backed up, and it's starting to add some significant pressure from the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. We're up to 45 minutes now from Federal Way to Seattle, so we've added 10 minutes to that drive just in the last couple of moments. Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Behind that, 35 to 40 from Puyallup to Renton. Olympia to Tacoma, no issues for you guys. Lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App where you can listen to your favorite shows, get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
Some sun breaks this afternoon. We'll hit a high of 50. Showers late tomorrow, and then it gets kind of heavy rain for Sunday and Monday. 45 right now in Seattle. Coming up, we head live to Portland, where Border Patrol agents have apparently shot 2 people. We'll join Luke Ducey live coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
After voters made it clear they want change.
That I will faithfully conduct myself as the mayor of the city of Seattle.
What should Seattle residents expect from Mayor Katie Wilson?
She talked a lot about our affordability crisis.
Northwest News voices you depend on.
It's a misdiagnosis of the problem. You believe government can solve this problem.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the KIRO News Radio app, with opinion and analysis at mynorthwest.com.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
A new year means more than just a clean calendar. It's new goals, opportunities, and fresh momentum for your business. Are you with the right bank to set you up for success? WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, credit cards, lines of credit, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd offers the latest in payment processing and cash flow tools for just the right fit to meet your goals. Plus, WaFd Bank is an SBA preferred lender. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So, how many chickens do you think there are on the farm?
3,000?
What do you think chickens eat?
Grass.
What else?
Seed.
So, do you know what organic eggs are?
The ones that you put in brownies?
Yes, the ones you put in brownies.
We hope you choose fresh eggs from our family farm.
Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration benefiting local breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Get your tickets now for January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Confidence with winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety can handle rainy commutes and icy roads. Find stress-free pricing and a stress-free experience at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. At 6:30, officials in Portland say Border Patrol agents shot a husband and wife, man and woman, during a traffic stop yesterday. Their conditions are unknown at this hour, but the circumstances surrounding the shooting are still unclear. Protesters gathered yesterday evening outside the ICE facility in Portland, and we head there live with KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey. Good morning, Luke.
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. You know, there were about 100 or so protesters here last night into the late hours, past 11 o'clock is what I'm told. I'm looking at the facility right now. I'm right across the street. It's absolutely clear. We do have video that I have posted on X. You might be playing it there on the YouTube feed. So if you're plugged into YouTube, you can see it for yourself. No protesters, but there are candles and makeshift memorial, at least here where I'm standing, for Renee Nicole Good, the woman who was shot and killed in Minnesota as well by ICE agents. There are candles here with a sign on a pole and remembering her. This scene, though, in Portland, Homeland Security says Customs and Border agents shot those two people. They claim tried to run over an agent not too far from here, a couple miles north of where I'm standing at this ICE facility. They say it happened during a targeted arrest and that the two were members of a Venezuelan gang. Those two who were shot were, as you said, taken to different hospitals. No word yet on their condition. The FBI is conducting a lot of the investigation on this shooting here in Portland, but I do know that police in Portland are also involved in that investigation. Here was Oregon Governor Tina Kotek right after the shooting.
When a president endorses tearing families apart and attempts to govern through fear and hate rather than shared values, you foster an environment of lawlessness and recklessness.
the Trump administration, obviously, this has been a point of contention for them, this ICE facility and protests here. What the protesters do is try to keep ICE agents from going in and out of the gate in the facility here to go on raids or even coming to work as well. Police arrested 6 people here, demonstrators, last night. That brings the total to 79 people here arrested over the weeks and months of protests. Kristi Noem also at one point not too long ago visited this facility, stood on the roof looking down at protesters as well. The administration, again, really targeting this facility is one of the areas they say in the country that is under siege by protesters. This is also where Trump sent National Guard troops. They came here about a month ago. President Trump has said since that he is pulling them out of Portland. That's the very latest right now, but we are going to be here live all morning long to see if more protesters come back this morning. I'm Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Meantime, in Seattle, city council members are calling for federal immigration officers to leave the city here. Their comments follow the deadly shooting in Minneapolis. City council member Bob Kettle says it appears masked ICE agents confronted 3 men Wednesday at a Home Depot on Aurora Avenue and chased them into a nearby cemetery.
Too often, what we're seeing with federal law enforcement, never mind the mask and the tactical gear that they're wearing, but they're not really doing the due process. They're not doing all these things that we have as a nation in terms of rule of law.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson critical of the raid, too.
Armed ICE agents in an unmarked vehicle detained 3 North Seattle neighbors at Evergreen Washelli Cemetery. I am furious at the federal government's abuse of power.
Now, we have reached out to ICE and Border Patrol for more information on the Wednesday arrest. We will bring you those comments as they come in. We have no word yet on who was detained. Time now to check traffic. Here is Chris Sullivan.
Do not get on southbound 405 out of Linwood. Just don't. You're going to be stuck in a pretty significant backup that now is up to about 4 miles. What we have is a crash involving a double dump truck, or as Adolfo in the 360 told me, a pup trailer. The back half of this double is rolled over and blocking everything but the express toll lane. And this is going to be there a while. We really don't have any equipment there yet to get this thing righted. So we've got about an hour drive already from Everett into Bellevue. That is a 25-minute delay over what you might expect and what you're getting on I-5. If you're coming down from Linwood or coming down from Everett to Vail, just hang to the right, and you will see a little slowing by the Nile Golf Course. But other than that, a 35-minute trip down to Seattle, and you're going to get across the lake nice and easy and get where you need to go without having to sit in that. Good news is it's right at 195th and Beardsley, so if you're coming up from 522, you're going to be entering 405 just south of it. Northbound I-5, struggling from the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Getting reports there's something off the Seneca exit, but I can't find it. But either way, it's really heavy there. You're going to need about 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. 40 from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is only about 20 minutes now, maybe under. Lake bridges are good. Nothing from Olympia to Tacoma. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Main event powered by WFC February 6th only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Forecast calls for a high of 50 today, partly cloudy this afternoon. Showers late tomorrow with a high of 50, and then rain heavy at times on Sunday and Monday. Right now, downtown, it's 41 at 6:36. Time for the opening bell report. The U.S. economy added 50,000 jobs to payrolls last month. Details from CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
The unemployment rate slipped to 4.4%. That was fairly expected. That 4.6% in November seemed like a little bit of a odd reading. And the sectors that were expected to produce jobs continue to do so. So healthcare added 21,000 jobs, social assistance jobs, 17,000. Those two categories have been consistent performers over the course of 2025. So too with food and drinking establishments, which added 27,000.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers got together to pass legislation extending expired health care subsidies for those covered by the Affordable Care Act. Here's CBS's Allison Keyes.
The legislation passed 230 to 196, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries noted,
"The Senate said it was impossible,"
adding,
"The People's House has just delivered a decisive victory."
But Missouri's Jason Smith told the House,
"It is laughable, Mr. Speaker, when you hear members on the other side say the Republicans created this health care crisis.
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Washington's insurance commissioner is fining Kaiser Permanente $300,000. Patty Kuderer says the Kaiser Foundation Health Plan of Washington violated federal law regarding coverage for mental health and addiction. The commissioner says Kaiser failed to provide adequate documentation on provider standards. Kuderer says $100,000 of the fine will be suspended if Kaiser complies for 2 years. Jim Krasula reports on legal action against the country's biggest retailer and a top soda company.
Walmart and PepsiCo have been accused in a federal lawsuit of a decade-long price-fixing scheme that allegedly involved raising the price of Pepsi products at stores other than Walmart. The proposed class action lawsuit says the two companies have had a long-term agreement that gives Walmart preferential pricing on Pepsi products.
President Trump taking steps to address concerns about affordability, especially when it comes to home ownership. Here's CBS's Linda Kenyon.
The president says he's directing the federal government to buy $200 billion in mortgage bonds, saying that move will help to reduce mortgage rates. The effort, which comes ahead of the midterm elections, follows an earlier post on social media where Trump said he wants to stop institutional investors from buying houses.
A fight is brewing over what to do with billions of dollars raised by Washington's Climate Commitment Act. Seattle Times reports Governor Ferguson wants to pull $559 million from it and use it for working family tax credits. The CCA has raised about $4.3 billion since 2023. But with a $2.3 billion budget hole, Ferguson says the alternative would be deep cuts elsewhere. Former Governor Jay Inslee disagrees strongly. He says voters backed this policy when they rejected a recall of the initiative last year, and pulling money now would be a breach of faith. Republican Representative Jim Walsh has his own idea. He wants to take a chunk of the Climate Commitment Act money for schools. Others are eyeing the money for transportation. A UW political scientist calls it a bottomless pit the state should avoid. He says once you start raiding the fund, more proposals are sure to follow. On Wall Street right now, we are looking at opening numbers where the Dow is up 15 points. The S&P 500 is ahead by 9, and the NASDAQ ahead by 28. Now, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We have a traffic alert in effect for southbound 405 getting away from Linwood. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist
managing high expectations. Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM. And the KIRO Newsradio app.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. MeetTheNovaks.com.
Around here, rain isn't a surprise. While others run for cover, Seahawks fans step into the storm, game day ready. And the Pro Shop is how.
Ball picked up! Witherspoon comes near side! 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Seahawks!
Every game, any weather. We got that. Shop official Seahawks gear in-store at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton. Or online at Seahawks.com/ProShop.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix them.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
6:43 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
Up to a 5-mile backup now on southbound 405, getting away from Linwood. And this is going to be with us for hours. What we have is a double dump truck was heading southbound on 405, and for some reason its back half rolled over. And so it is blocking and just sitting there in the regular lanes. The only lane that can get by is the express toll lane. They have cut off the tolling for that, so you can get around that in that spot. So you're not going to get charged. If you do, and you can always go to good to go. But yeah, right now the price is $0. But we've got about an hour drive to go from Everett down into Bellevue, which is about a 25-minute delay because it's only 35 minutes from Everett into Seattle. If you're coming down from Everett and you need to go to the east side, I would just stick with I-5 and take a lake bridge over, and don't look back. Again, this is only going to get worse with more and more people on the road. Turns out there is a crash on the off-ramp to Seneca from northbound I-5, and that's has us backed up, if you can believe it, all the way back to the middle of Boeing Field already. 50 minutes to go from Federal Way to Seattle. That's about a 15-minute delay through that spot, so that's a pretty sizable deal. Across the lake, no problems. Renton to Bellevue's got about an 18-minute trip. Valley Freeway, about 40 minutes. 16 looks good, 18 looks good. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. This report brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, home offices, and more. Go to closetsbydesign.com to see the current specials or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to learn more.
Expecting a high of 50 today, a few sun breaks this afternoon. Tomorrow, rain late in the day and rain quite heavy on Sunday and Monday. So get out and enjoy today, huh? Right now in Seattle, it's 41 and cloudy at 6:45. Coming up, Paul Holden has our weekend planner. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Take the next step to becoming a Seahawks season ticket holder. Join the season ticket holder notification list to secure your spot in line. By signing up, you'll be the first to know when space becomes available on the official Blue Pride waitlist. Plus, receive team news, special ticket offers, and more. Visit Seahawks.com/season tickets to sign up today.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Out at the Wilcox family farm, our hens roam freely on fresh green pasture. But that means predators like coyotes and eagles are always nearby. That's where our team of Great Pyrenees help out. These gentle giants were born to protect, and they become a part of our family. Raised alongside the chickens from puppyhood. Our hens are raised humanely, our practices are organic, and our promise is simple. Fresh eggs straight from our farm to your table. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Well, another winter weekend has arrived. If you're looking for something fun to do, here's KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
It's our first weekend of the new year without any lingering holiday parties, so you might be looking for something to do? Well, you're in luck. There's still plenty going on. It's the perfect time of year to start planning a vacation for you and the family. If you're looking for the next best destination, head to the Travel and Adventure Show at the Seattle Convention Center this weekend. The show runs all weekend long and features travel experts who can help you plan for your next adventure, panels and speakers to help you get helpful tips before you head out, and there will be lots of chances to save some money on a trip. Find more details at the event's website. At the Doubletree SeaTac, you will find the latest and greatest in the world of board and card games at OrcaCon. This weekend-long convention is round-the-clock gaming, special guest panels, tournaments, and demos of upcoming titles. Looking to skip the traffic? Light Rail will get you right to the event. Get tickets and details at orcacon.org. That's not the only big event for card collectors this weekend. At the University of Washington on Saturday, you'll find the Emerald City Card Show. Over 150 vendors will be at the Husky Union Building selling sports cards, Pokemon cards, collectibles, art, and much more. If you've been looking for just the right card to complete your collection, odds are you'll find it there. If you're looking to watch something a little different this weekend, head to the Northwest Film Forum where you'll find 7 short films from the 2025 Sundance Film Festival. This is the 2025 Sundance Film Festival Short Film Tour, and it's about 100 minutes of short films from across the world. The event's website says this tour presents a special opportunity to discover a collection of fiction, nonfiction, and animated shorts brimming with humor, emotion, and inspiration. Showtime is at 7 o'clock tonight, as well as 4 and 7 on Saturday and Sunday. Get more details at nwfilmforum.org. Bundle up and get your steps in while enjoying artwork from the community during the free art walks this weekend. These self-guided tours are taking place across Seattle, with one in Belltown tonight and Ballard and Georgetown hosting on Saturday. It's a quiet weekend for sports here in town as the 12s await who the Seattle Seahawks will play in the divisional round of the playoffs right here in Seattle at Lumen Field, in case you didn't hear. But if you want to catch some hoops this weekend, the University of Washington men's basketball team has a big game against the Ohio State Buckeyes on Sunday, tip-off at 3 p.m. How are you starting your 2026? Let me know at paulh@KIRORadio.com. Paul Holden, KIRO News Radio.
Well, we've been talking about it for quite a while now. Revive I-5, lane closures, traffic mayhem. Just the beginning of a project in Seattle that will last at least 2 years. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The Ship Canal Bridge along I-5 is the most heavily traveled bridge in Seattle, and this weekend brings a major disruption across the bridge, which will snarl traffic. Washington Transportation Secretary Julie Meredith.
We will fully close northbound I-5 this weekend from I-90 to Northeast 45th Street starting at midnight, January 9th, and reopening at 5 a.m., January 12th.
The closure will allow the setup of safe construction zones to protect workers for an extended restoration and 2 northbound lane closures through 2026. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, at least the apps will get us through it, right?
No, they will not.
What?
No, they will not. And again, for people who didn't live through this last summer when we did it for a month,
A lot of people had that time off.
Right. For those of you coming down from Snohomish County, it is going to be much worse for you.
But this is affecting northbound.
That is correct. But what they're doing is they're keeping the express lanes open in the direction of the closure. That means they're going to stay northbound 24/7 during this entire project, which means they will not be available for southbound drivers in the morning. And what we saw during that month of summer was a 5-mile daily backup and an hour delay, basically going from Linwood into Seattle. And that is going to happen every day starting Monday.
Oh, well, what I'll do is I'll just park at the Linwood Transit Center.
Well, great. Well, are you going to get there at 5 a.m.? Because the parking lot already fills between 6:30 and 7, and it's possible it might be full by 6.
Yeah.
So there are not a lot of options. And again, it's counterintuitive. Yeah, the closure's in the northbound direction, but the biggest impact will be coming down out of the north end. And it's
kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
Because it's affecting the northbound traffic, but it's actually the northbound people or southbound people
that are getting the
because
worst
of the express
it.
lanes.
Yes. And so it's funny. I had James. I couldn't get to that press conference because it was right as our show was ending this week. I had him ask, why can't you just open it up for a couple of hours of the morning to let maybe the lion's share of that through? And they're like, yeah, no, this is going to be better. Like, did you not hear? So I've got a good soundbite that now I can play every day, not unlike our $15, to give you your understanding of why you're going to be stuck in an extra hour-long traffic jam starting next week. Not even going in the direction of the closure. Yeah, it's going to be brutal.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we're off to a rough start on spots this morning as well.
Yeah, and I just got even worse news for this problem on southbound 405, where we have a double dump truck where the back half flipped. State Patrol says that the gravel spilled onto the roadway as well, so it was full. This is at 195th there as you come down south on 405, and we have a 5-mile backup that extends all the way up coming away from Linwood, and it's an hour and 15 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, an hour of that just from Linwood, because only the express toll lane is open. There is no toll right now. They've turned that off because that's the only lane getting by. But if you're north of the Linwood split and you have a choice, go with I-5 and then catch a lake bridge. You will save yourself a ridiculous amount of time. Do not get on southbound 405. The other issue we have is on northbound I-5 at the off-ramp to Seneca. We've got one of the lanes blocked there, and that has us backed up to the north end of Boeing Field. It's 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, an extra 10 minutes on that trip. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Okay, we're looking for a high of 50 today. Partly sunny this afternoon, at least some sun breaks. Overnight lows in the 40s. Showers by later tomorrow afternoon and rain on Sunday and Monday. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's 41. CBS News on the way. This is Seattle's Morning News.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people, make it work for them.
Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO News Radio app.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Sniffles and sneezes got you down? GoodRx is here to help with big savings on commonly prescribed cold and flu meds. GoodRx is free and easy to use. GoodRx is accepted at all major pharmacies like CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens. Just search your prescription, find a coupon, then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin. Muckleshoot. Gold, platinum, and Grammy-winning trumpeter Chris Bodie crossed over from jazz to pop stardom. Now he's crossing back. Hear his return to acoustic jazz and classic standards live at Jazz Alley, January 14th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Officials in Minnesota will speak this hour on the incident involving an ICE agent who shot and killed a mother of 4 as she tried to drive away when they tried to open her car door.
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past.
And that is actually Mayor Keith Wilson from Portland on the circumstances surrounding a shooting by Border Patrol agents yesterday. Husband and wife were wounded in a traffic stop that the Department of Homeland Security says was targeting a suspected Venezuelan drug gang member. Now to officials in Minnesota who speak this hour, correspondent Usher Qureshi.
Initially, the investigation was supposed to be jointly conducted between the FBI and state authorities here in Minnesota. That changed when the FBI, according to a statement from those state authorities, said that they would block them from having access to interviews, case material, body cam, etc. The governor has said that they want access. They want to be part of this investigation. They're going to take legal recourse to try and get access.
Iran's supreme leader says President Trump's hands are stained with the blood of Iranians as thousands continue protests that have spread out across the country. Correspondent Holly Williams is at the foreign desk.
Iran's internet was cut off last night, possibly an attempt by the Iranian regime to prevent people from posting videos online for the world to see. More than 40 protesters and security personnel have been killed in the demonstrations so far, according to human rights monitoring groups, though we cannot independently confirm those numbers.
Demonstrations began over Iran's struggling economy. At least 50 people have been killed. Hiring cooled off at the end of the year. The Labor Department says employees employers added a fewer than expected 50,000 jobs. Economist Constance Hunter.
We have a lot of uncertainty with regard to the geopolitical landscape, with regard to the economic landscape in so much as tariffs. And so that uncertainty usually causes firms to slow down.
Unemployment fell from 4.6 to 4.4%. Now to a big jewelry heist in the South. Jim Crisula.
Police in Cape Coral, Florida, near Miami, say two men bore through the wall of a neighboring store's bathroom to break into a jewelry store. They made off with more than $500,000 in inventory and two guns after restraining and assaulting the store manager. Their haul included more than 1,000 pieces of jewelry.
Dow is up 110 points. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
7:03 now, Friday morning. We check in with Chris Sullivan. It's anything but a Friday light.
Yeah, for those of you coming in from Snohomish County and your destination is, say, Totem Lake or Bellevue, it is going to be brutal. My best advice, do not get on southbound 405 out of Linwood. You are going to be mired in a 30 to 35 minute delay minimum. We have a crash involving a double dump truck, or as Adolfo told me, a pup trailer. Either way, the back half rolled, spilled its gravel, and only the express toll lane is open as you get near 195th and Beardsley, and we're backing up all the way to Linwood. It's at least an hour drive just from Linwood into Bellevue. The Linwood to Seattle drive is like 20 minutes. So it is going to be an easy, much easier drive if you're on I-5 and then catching a lake bridge. The rest of the map looks okay. I mean, we're looking at Friday light most other places. Other exception, northbound I-5 getting into downtown. We have a crash in the off-ramp to Seneca that has us backed up now to the north end of Boeing Field. 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, which is about plus 10. 20 minutes Renton to Bellevue, 40, 42, Puyallup to Renton. Lake bridges are fine. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Your discretion, police are en route. It looks like caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well. Your top group is going to be Ops 1, Engine 7 with Medic 314 and Medic 321 with police en route. This will be a shooting at the Brea Apartments, 10 Northeast 146 Avenue.
Officials in Portland say Border Patrol agents shot a husband and wife during a traffic stop yesterday. Conditions now are unknown. Circumstances surrounding the shooting are still unclear at this time. This is what Portland Mayor Keith Wilson had to say last night.
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past.
Well, protesters gathered yesterday evening outside the ICE facility in Portland, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is there and joins us live. Good morning, Luke.
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. I'm right across the street from the ICE facility right now. I've seen a few cars go in and out of the gate that opens up to let ICE agents either go out to raids or to come into work. No protesters here right now. It is quiet relatively compared to last night where there were hundreds of protesters outside here. 6 people arrested by Portland police. That brings the total to 79 protesters arrested outside this ICE facility in Portland since June. Now, Homeland Security says that Customs and Border agents shot those 2 people after they tried to run over an agent. DHS says the 2 were part of a targeted arrest and that they were part of a Venezuelan gang. They were taken to 2 different hospitals. No word yet on their condition. I believe we also have sound from Governor Tina Kotek reacting to the shooting.
When a president endorses tearing families apart and attempts to govern through fear and hate rather than shared values, you foster an environment of lawlessness and recklessness.
You're hearing that sentiment echoed by mayors across the country, including officials in Minneapolis, for ICE agents and the demonstration to get out of their cities. You know, it was a peaceful protest here last night, even though there were 6 arrests, after the Portland mayor, Keith Wilson, asked for demonstrators to remain peaceful, and they were. Those 6 arrested, the way I understand it, and I've been told, where they were blocking traffic in the road. I mean, there were hundreds of people here, and they were in the road. They were told, get out of the road or we will have to arrest you, and that's what happened. happen. It's not as if they were attacking or being violent with ICE agents. That said, this ICE facility has been the scene of violent clashes with federal agents in the past. The National Guard, you'll remember, they sent troops here. They were deployed here for a time. They're no longer here. And again, it is quiet outside this ICE facility so far this morning. Live in Portland, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
There was a protest in Seattle last night as well on the waterfront, and KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao was there.
And why?
Hundreds of people on Seattle's waterfront.
The ICE agent who murdered Renee Good.
Demanding justice for Renee Good after the mother of 3 was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis.
I was sick. I mean, it was just heartbreaking to see it happen.
Federal officials calling the shooting self-defense, but many people here disagreed.
You can see the video. You know, we've seen it from every different angle, sped up, slowed down, and it's all the same conclusion. You know, she was murdered.
Mayor of Seattle says she is furious after federal immigration agents detained 3 people in North Seattle.
It is unacceptable to kidnap people who are simply going about their lives. There is no place for this in Seattle.
Katie Wilson says she's now working with the police and city attorney to, quote, keep the people of Seattle safe. Police chief confirmed federal agents were conducting enforcement duties along Aurora Avenue Wednesday. We have reached out to ICE and Border Patrol for comment. No word yet on the people they detained.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. January 9th, Manda Factor is out today. I'm Charlie Harger. But Sully's here, checking traffic on the 3s. Producer David Burbank is here with us. Nick Krasia is in the control room and picking out the music and, making sure that the commercials run on time. Thank you, Nick, for your service.
No problem. Yeah.
Jillian Raftery is filling in for Katrina this morning out at the news desk. We'll be checking in with Luke Ducey throughout the morning outside the ICE facility in Portland. And coming up this hour of the show, joining us live in studio will be the new Seattle City Council President, Joy Hollingsworth, talking about her plans for 2026, how she'll work with Mayor Katie Wilson. And in today's 7:35 commentary, we're going to actually hear from CBS's Tony DeCouple in light of that tragic shooting in Minneapolis. It's 7:09 now.
This was always about the oil.
Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray, before she voted yesterday in favor of a resolution that would limit President Trump's ability to conduct more attacks against Venezuela. The War Powers resolution advanced in the Senate. Analysts say the resolution has little chance of passing the House, where Republicans like Washington Congressman Michael Baumgartner say President Trump did the right thing by toppling what he calls a narco-terrorist. Quick look at some other stories we're following. A Shoreline teen has pleaded not guilty to killing a 15-year-old Bellevue High School freshman. Prosecutors say 17-year-old Kamario Anaki killed Asjane Brooks last June. He's also charged with human trafficking. Bail set at $5 million. Get ready for a rough commute. All northbound lanes of I-5 closed tonight from I-90 to Northeast 45th Street until 5 a.m. Monday. It'll be the start of WashDOT's Revive I-5 project, which will keep 2 lanes closed through most of 2026. The state is giving 25 surplus wildfire engines to local fire districts at no cost. DNR says getting equipment to local crews helps stop fires before they get big. And this week's storm dumped heavy snow across the mountains. Mount Baker and Paradise each got 35 inches. Ski areas did well, too. Snoqualmie and Stevens both got over 2 feet. It's 7:11 now. Jurors are deliberating today in whether the city of Seattle is liable for a teenager's death during the 2020 CHOP protest. Seattle Times reports the case went to the jury yesterday. Antonio Mays Jr. was 16 when he was shot at the Capitol Hill protest zone. His killing remains unsolved. Father's lawsuit claims the city failed to respond and an ambulance drove away while his son was dying. City argues he likely would not have survived anyway. Snohomish High School is the first in Washington to offer a varsity letter in skilled trades. King 5 reports 2 students pushed for the change, arguing that welders and builders deserve the same recognition as football players. Comes as the state faces a major shortage of trade workers. Nearly 80% of construction firms in Washington say they can't find enough help. One of the students behind the idea already has a job lined up at Boeing. And here's a tip. If you are going to hide drugs in your underpants, maybe don't hide 53 baggies. Seattle police arrested a 33-year-old for selling crack in Belltown Wednesday. He swore he didn't have any more drugs on him. Officers didn't buy it. They tipped off jail staff. And sure enough, deputies at the jail found a stash hidden where the sun doesn't shine. He's now facing additional charges for bringing drugs into a detention facility. 7:12 now, and it's time to get a check on weather. It looks like we're headed for a high of 50 today. Dry today. Maybe some sun breaks, but a lot of clouds, too. Overnight lows in the upper 30s to low 40s. Tomorrow, we have sun breaks in the morning, but by the afternoon, showers return. Then Sunday and Monday, that's when a light atmospheric river hits. Heavy rain at times, both days, highs in the low to mid 50s. Right now in Seattle, it's 45 and partly cloudy. Time to check traffic. We have Sully join us every 10 minutes on the threes for our updates, which you're going to want to remember, especially starting Monday. Sully.
Yeah, Monday's going to be brutal, and we can talk about that throughout the show. But today, the biggest issue is for people trying to get down 405 out of Linwood. Do not get on southbound 405 out of Linwood at this point. It is bumper to bumper from basically Linwood all the way down to Beardsley, where we have this double dump truck where the rear end rolled and spilled its load. Now, I just got some pictures from the State Patrol, and we may have gotten lucky. A lot of the load of gravel appears to have stayed in the bed. I mean, there's a bunch of it on the freeway, but it's not like the whole load is lost. So that's certainly fortunate. But the damage is done. I mean, it's a 40-minute delay minimum. It's an hour to get you from Linwood to Bellevue. If you are north of Linwood and your goal is Bellevue or Bothell, stay on I-5 and then catch a lake bridge back over to the east side. I-5 can handle it. It's running under 40 minutes total from Everett to Seattle. So please don't get on 405 and start your weekend off with this. Now, the other issue on this non-Friday light is we've been working with a crash on the northbound I-5 off-ramp to Seneca. And we are backed up from the north end of Boeing Field. It's about 45, 46 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, which is about 10 minutes slower than it should be. The rest of the map is Friday light. I mean, Olympia to Tacoma looks nice and easy, 35 minutes. The Valley Freeway looks like 35 to 40. Rented to Bellevue, nice and easy. I mean, some slowing at the beginning of the S-curves, but we're under 22 minutes to make the drive. The lake bridges are in very good shape. So, again, I tell you, don't get on southbound 405 out of Linwood. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Thanks for joining us. It is 7:15, a bit of a delay with the city council president coming to the studio, so we will move on, and hopefully Joy Hollingsworth is on her way. President Trump says he's called off a second wave of attacks on Venezuela. Here's CBS's Michael Wallace.
In an early morning social media post, the president said Venezuela has been working well with the U.S. and is releasing large numbers of political prisoners, which he called a very important and smart gesture. Families rushed to prisons across Venezuela last night to reunite with their freed loved ones. Trump says Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado might meet with him in Washington next week. She has praised Trump for removing Nicolas Maduro from power and even dedicated her Nobel Peace Prize to Trump. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
To the Middle East, where Iran's supreme leader called protesters in that country vandals and saboteurs were doing the work of the United States. It was his first response to a new wave of deadly protests calling for a change in the Islamic law-ruled country. CBS News' Holly Williams has more from London.
Iran's internet was cut off last night, possibly an attempt by the Iranian regime to prevent people from posting videos online for the world to see. More than 40 protesters and security personnel have been killed in the demonstrations so far, according to human rights monitoring groups, though we cannot independently confirm those numbers.
President Trump says he's cleared up any misunderstanding with the president of Colombia after a phone conversation. Just days earlier, he had called President Gustavo Petro a sick man who likes making cocaine to sell to the United States. The two have also clashed on U.S. pressure on drug trafficking from South America. Here's CBS's Lilia Luciano.
Well, President Petro says he doesn't condone the Trump administration's plans with Venezuelan oil. He believes they share a vision on who should govern Venezuela. You're suggesting a shared government between the Delcy regime-aligned side and the opposition?
Sí.
So you wouldn't trust her or support her as a leader?
I invited her once, and she didn't want to come. I was obviously surprised that Trump thought the same thing as me.
A new survey found one simple daily habit that separates millions of Americans from billionaires. I'm Jeff Colvin of Fortune magazine with the Fortune Business Update. Bill Gates, Barack Obama, and Oprah Winfrey all share a daily habit that most Americans have quietly abandoned: reading books. A new J.P. Morgan survey of more than 100 billionaires finds that reading ranks as the top habit that high achievers have in common. Yet 2 in 5 Americans didn't read a single book last year, and experts warn book reading's decline, especially among Gen Z, could have lasting consequences. A key driver of the shift away from book reading is the attention economy, conducted on phones and supercharged by social media and, increasingly, AI. Those activities are no substitute for the strategic and critical thinking that books strengthen in readers and that most people, not just billionaires, need. I'm Jeff Colvin.
Luigi Mangione is in federal court today as his lawyers try and fight against the death penalty. Trial lawyer Richard Schoenstein says the stalking charge against him isn't enough to warrant the death penalty.
The federal government has charged Mangione with stalking, and they've said that is the crime of violence. And the defense is saying stalking is not necessarily a crime of violence. It is a crime, but it's not the kind of violent crime that would underlie the death penalty.
New data on the state of the world's oceans is out. CBS News national environmental correspondent David Schechter reports.
A new international study finds Earth's oceans stored more heat in 2025 than any year on record. The increase was 23 zettajoules, which is roughly 37 years of global energy use packed into the water, according to a team led by the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Warmer seas fuel stronger storms, heavier rains, and rising seas. Scientists say the biggest uncertainty now is not the data, it's what humans decide to do with it. David Schechter, CBS News, Dallas.
With some Affordable Care Act premiums now skyrocketing, Republicans are pushing health savings accounts, HSAs. I'm Zach Dyer, and this is your KFF Health News Minute. GOP lawmakers don't want to extend extra subsidies to bring down monthly premiums. Instead, they want to give some people in high-deductible plans a small amount of money in HSAs. The investment accounts can be used for out-of-pocket medical expenses, but the money can't be used for monthly premiums, which many people can no longer afford. If you're worried about your new ACA premium payment, you might find cheaper options outside the Obamacare marketplaces. But they can come with big trade-offs. Short-term health plans are available in 36 states, but you generally have to be healthy to get one. And they don't have to cover essential benefits like emergency room care and medication. Going that route could cost less month to month, but leave you without coverage when you really need it. There's more at kffhealthnews.org.
A new study finds when people stop GLP weight loss drugs, they regain about a pound a month, and within roughly a year, most of the heart and diabetes-related benefits of weight loss have disappeared. The weight also comes back faster than after diet and lifestyle-based programs. This research comes as new dietary guidelines emphasize healthier eating patterns. Dr. Celine Gounder, CBS News medical contributor, editor-at-large for public health at KFF, says the research and new dietary guidelines align well.
Guidelines are moving away from eat less to weigh less and toward eat better to live better. That means prioritizing real, minimally processed foods, protein, and fiber, and regular physical activity, regardless of what the scale says. The focus is on sustainable behaviors that improve metabolic health over the long term.
New research looks into what might be behind the recent drop in opioid overdose deaths.
After rising for decades, overdose deaths started declining dramatically in 2023.
All this happens before the Trump administration comes into place.
Study co-author Peter Reuter at the University of Maryland says his team detected a major disruption in the international fentanyl supply that year, but not because of U.S. or Mexican law enforcement efforts.
Chinese government actions in 2023 and 24 were important in explaining this drop.
China appears to have cracked down on the suppliers of the ingredients needed to make fentanyl. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Paying down credit card debt is a common New Year's resolution. This is Ted Rossman with the Bankrate Personal Finance Minute. It's important to make credit card debt payoff a priority because the average credit card charge is about 20%. Some cardholders are paying upwards of 25 or even 30%. About half of cardholders pay in full each month, avoiding interest and benefiting from rewards and other perks. If you're among the half with debt, these tips are for you. My favorite suggestion is to sign up for a credit card with a generous 0% balance transfer promotion. Another idea, especially if you have a lower credit score or a lot of debt, is to work with a reputable nonprofit credit counseling agency, such as Money Management International. You could also consider taking on a side hustle, selling unnecessary possessions, or cutting back on discretionary spending. These sacrifices don't need to last forever. Freeing yourself from the shackles of credit card debt is a worthy goal as we enter 2026. For more, check out Bankrate.com. I'm Ted Rossman.
And the second college football playoff semifinal takes place tonight in Atlanta. Erica Herskowitz has a preview.
Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza and the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers will be taking on Big Ten rival Oregon in the Peach Bowl tonight. Indiana beat Oregon by 10 back in October. Hoosiers head coach Curt Cignetti doesn't expect this time out to be easy, though.
Hard to beat a great team twice. Very difficult. So edged Oregon there, but ought to be a great game. Looking forward to the challenge.
Ducks head coach Dan Lanning also expects a challenge.
They challenge you in every facet in special teams, defensively, offensively. They've got great quarterback play.
Indiana and Oregon kick off at 7:30 Eastern. Erica Herskowitz for CBS News.
Or, 4:30 Pacific. The winner will face the University of Miami for the College Football Championship January 19th. 7:23 now. Time for traffic on the threes. You're trying to tell yourself not to say go Ducks. I know you're forcing yourself. You don't want to show your inner green and yellow, Sully, and I admire that about you.
Well, thank you. I like, again, I can't help where I was brought up. I can't help where my father played football. And so, I'm excited to see what the Ducks will do. Indiana, though, is legit. They're really, really good. Looking at the drive, you know what's not good? 405 southbound. It's you don't want it. Trust me, if you're north of Linwood and you're heading to Bellevue, just stay on I-5. You will thank me later. We have a double dump truck where its rear end rolled, spilled some of its load on southbound 405 right around 195th and Beardsley, getting down into the Woodinville interchange. And we are backed up 5 miles and at least a 40-minute delay. It's an hour alone just from Linwood to get you down into Bellevue. You're looking at 40 minutes total from Everett to Seattle. So stay on I-5 and then catch a lake bridge over. You will save a ton of time. We have also, it looks like, cleared the crash that we had at the off-ramp to Seneca. Still have some leftover slowing from about the north end of Boeing Field, but we're back under 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Not by much, but a little. Rented to Bellevue about 22, 23 minutes now as we see the S-curves being kind of active. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is under 40. Olympia to Tacoma, 35 minutes. No issues on 16 or 18 either. So most places are Friday light. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast looks like it'll be cloudy today, some sun breaks the afternoon, high of 51. Tomorrow, we start off partly sunny, but it downgrades after that, unless you're a rain fan. We're expecting showers by the afternoon and heavy rain at times both Sunday and Monday. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 42. Coming up, we'll have the latest on what's happening in Portland after Border Patrol agents shot 2 people yesterday. Luke Ducey is there live. And in today's 7:35 commentary, it's actually a special commentary from new CBS Evenings anchor Tony DeCopel in light of the ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Stick around. This is Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. MeetTheNovaks.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games. Just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Right now, save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months same-as-cash financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st, for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
Gold, platinum, and Grammy-winning trumpeter Chris Bodie crossed over from jazz to pop stardom. Now he's crossing back. Hear his return to acoustic jazz and classic standards live at Jazz Alley, January 14th through 18th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Discretion police are en route. It looks like caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
That is the call yesterday by police dispatch in Portland. Officials there say Border Patrol agents shot a husband and wife during a traffic stop yesterday. Their conditions are unknown, and the circumstances leading up to it still unclear. Protesters gathered yesterday outside the ICE facility in Portland, and that is where we find KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey, who joins us live. Good morning, Luke.
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. It's relatively quiet here right now outside this ICE facility in Portland. I'm right across the street. Last night, though, there were hundreds of protesters here. 6 people arrested, which brings the total of 79 people, demonstrators and protesters arrested here since June. This has been the scene of ongoing protests. Of course, sometimes there were violent, there have been violent exchanges between ICE agents, federal officers, and protesters. Last night, we're told everything was peaceful. Those people who were arrested were in the street, and that's why they were arrested. It wasn't because of a violent exchange. Of course, what happened here just miles up north here in Portland yesterday, Homeland Security says Customs and Border agents shot 2 people after they tried to run over an agent. DHS says they were part of a targeted arrest and that they were part of a Venezuelan gang. They were taken to 2 different hospitals after being injured. No word yet on their condition. Here was Portland Mayor Keith Wilson reacting to that shooting.
Our community deserves answers. Our community deserves accountability. And most of all, our community deserves peace.
And new this morning, Oregon's Department of Justice will now apparently open an investigation into that shooting that happened here yesterday. And they say they will prosecute any federal agent that used force beyond the reasonable scope of their duty. Again, Oregon's Department of Justice opening an investigation. Apparently, they have informed the federal government that they are doing that. We're expecting protests may pick up later on this evening. Again, they were peaceful yesterday, and there are no protesters here yet this morning. Live in Portland, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
To the protests in Seattle.
Get ICE off our streets!
That is as hundreds of people flocked to the waterfront to protest ICE. They lit candles, carried signs remembering Renee Good, who was shot and killed by federal agents in Minneapolis Wednesday. This woman spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
I get very upset, very depressed at getting around other people that feel the way I do and that are as outraged as we are, and it's been very helpful.
Protesters call her death murder. The Department of Homeland Security says the agent feared for his life and acted in self-defense when Good's car started rolling forward. The FBI is leading that investigation. Time to check traffic now. Every 10 minutes, Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
And it is not a pleasant trip for those of you trying to go southbound on 405 away from Linwood, getting down into Bothell. We continue to work with this double dunk truck that lost its rear end and dumped a little bit of its load on the freeway. It looks like they've got that at least that back half back up on its wheels, so that's positive, but only the express toll lane is open, and it's free to use it to get around this because, again, that's the only lane open. We're backed up all the way to Linwood, and it's an hour drive just from Linwood to the Bellevue area. You compare that to a 23-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle, and you know that you should just stay on I-5 and catch a lake bridge over. Down in the south end, we have a new crash to tell you about. Northbound I-5 right at DuPont, just north of the Stillicum-DuPont Road. Right lane is blocked, and so we're up to 40 minutes to make it from Olympia to Tacoma. Federal Way to Seattle, about 45 minutes. Nothing unusual about that. 26, 27 now from Renton to Bellevue, but behind that only 40 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. The lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th, only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Going to be mostly cloudy today, perhaps some sun breaks. A high of 50, dry today. Showers later on tomorrow, and then rain heavy at times Sunday and Monday. It starts to dry out a bit by Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies and 43.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Time for the 7:35 commentary, but not from me this morning. The new anchor of the CBS Evening News, Tony DeCouple, was in Minneapolis last night, and he had a commentary at the end of the broadcast, in case you missed it.
There is so much to say about the last 24 hours, but sometimes what matters most is what is yet to be said at all, and what we all still need to hear. By now, we've all seen the videos. Renee Good is alive in those videos, behind the wheel of her SUV, her 3 children expecting mom home again soon. And we've seen the freeze frames, too. We've heard the political warfare, the clashing declarations about what happened. And unfortunately, we know the ending for Renee Good. Nothing is going to change that. Yet what we have not yet heard is one another. I spoke to people today who haven't slept since it happened, who want ICE out now, who don't like masked men on their streets, don't want their neighbors arrested, don't want families ripped apart. I've heard, too, not on the streets protesting, but in passionate notes in my inbox from people who want to see our immigration laws enforced legally and peacefully and with safety for all, including the officers who in many cases are also parents themselves. These are both deeply American sentiments. But our job now is maybe the most American thing of all. It's to find a way to live with people who are genuinely different from us, to try to be fair to them, and in doing so, to make things better and keep things decent. Because in America, no one else is going to do it for us. It's not my job to tell you what to think about what happened here yesterday, but I can tell you we owe our children a nation that is better than the one we live in today. And I can say that because we all know it's true.
That's CBS Evening News anchor Tony DeCopel. If you ever have a comment, you can reach us on the text line, 888-973-5476. Reach out on our socials at KIRO Newsradio, and of course on mynorthwest.com. We have the comment section open again. 7:38 now. Governor Ferguson and former Governor Inslee are at odds over what to do with Washington's Climate Commitment Act money. Seattle Times reports Ferguson wants to take $559 million from it and use it for tax credits for working families. The fund has raised over $4.3 billion since 2023, money that was meant to cut emissions and deal with climate change. Ferguson says the state's $2.3 billion budget shortfall leaves him no choice. But Governor Inslee calls the move a breach of faith with voters who rejected a CCA recall campaign last year. He points to last month's floods as evidence the state needs this money for climate work, especially with federal funding drying up under President Trump. Meanwhile, Republicans have their own ideas. State Representative Jim Walsh wants to grab some of the money for schools. Others want it for roads. A UW political scientist warns it sets a dangerous precedent. He calls it a rat hole. Once you start dipping in, the requests will never stop. It's 7:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at this crash involving a rolled double dump truck in the Bothell area. We'll break it down for you next.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist
managing high expectations. Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. And the KIRO Newsradio app.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts. The VA loan and debt consolidation experts, too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to the Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, to just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical Clinic.
I should have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
It's 7:43. Traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Do not get on southbound I-405. I've been telling you all morning long, don't do it. If you're coming down from Linwood, you're going to run into a buzzsaw. About a 35 to 40-minute delay is what you're looking at. We've got bumper to bumper from Linwood all the way down to Beardsley, where we have a double dump truck that was lost its rear end earlier this morning, dumped a little bit of the gravel it was carrying. They have now righted that and got it up on its wheels and doing cleanup. But again, the express toll lane is the only lane that is open through the area. It's an hour from Linwood to Linwood to Bellevue. That's pretty ugly. If you want to go on I-5, you will save yourself a ton of time because it's only running about 30 minutes from Linwood down into Seattle. So that's a pretty sizable improvement. Catch a lake bridge over and you'll be fine. The rest of the map, not terrible. Federal Way to Seattle, about 45 minutes. The Renton S-curve's not quite a half an hour to make the drive from Renton on up into Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway, 40 minutes from end to end. Looks like we've cleared the crash in DuPont that had the right lane blocked, so the little backup there we have is gone away. Across the lake, we have no issues. This traffic report is brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Confident winter driving starts at Subaru of Puyallup. Find stress-free pricing at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Stress-free buying experience at Subaru of Puyallup, which is your stress-free dealership.
We're looking for a high of 51 today in Seattle. Cloudy and maybe some sun breaks by the afternoon. Tomorrow the showers start to roll in late, and then on Sunday and Monday we expect to have rain heavy at times. Seattle right now, it's 44 at 7:44. Coming up, G. Scott stops by. Early Friday for G as we talk about the wild card weekend for the NFL. Who do the Hawks hope wins this weekend? We'll ask G on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency, Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Feeling cold? Your windows may be the issue. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for 25% better energy efficiency and up to 30% energy bill savings. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Here he is. Early Friday appearance of G. Scott on Seattle's Morning News. G from the G and Ursula Show and the Reset Podcast.
Hey, good morning.
Big football weekend,
Big
huh?
football.
And all Seahawks are probably keeping their eyes on some of these wild card games.
Before I explain why no team left in the playoffs wants to face the Seahawks, I just want to do a quick little shameless promotion. Okay. Please go over to the Reset Podcast. Go on YouTube, subscribe, and check out the latest content. The last 3-4 videos have been absolutely on fire. So the Reset on YouTube, go subscribe there. Now, as far as the reasons why nobody wants to face this team, you don't want to face the Seahawks because you can't prepare for them. You can only survive the Seahawks. You see, some teams are built on, when we talk about teams out there, it's like, oh, this team needs, the Steelers need Aaron Rodgers, or the Ravens need Lamar Jackson, even though they're not in the playoffs, right? This team right here, it is a bunch of players that believe more in team and scheme over ego. It's hard to beat a team like this. They can win ugly. They don't have to be in a big shootout. They don't have to score a lot of points. And they have a defense that will literally take your chain the same way Debo did. Now, did you understand that, Charlie?
No.
Okay. Did you ever see the movie Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Remember Debo went around and did the chain?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
I was focused on your every word. I was thinking about this team.
Okay. Now,
how many players and they're mean men.
So now, what do you guys need to do this weekend? Yeah. Well, you need to pay attention to the wild card weekend. You got the playoffs in the NFC. Who cares about the AFC? But in NFC, you got big games. You have the Packers heading over to the Bears. You have the Niners heading over to the Philadelphia Eagles. And you have the Rams heading over to the Panthers. The lowest seed winner will be the team that comes to Lumen Field next weekend. I believe that it's going to be the Green Bay Packers. I think that they're going to beat the Bears because the Bears' defense is absolutely cheeks. The Bears' defense is not good, Charlie.
And the Packers, they are a lower seed than the Bears, right?
They are. They're a 9 seed.
Okay. So what is a weakness with the Bears? What is a weakness with the Panthers that you're going to be watching for?
Well, the Panthers, they play against the Rams, right? The Panthers actually beat the Rams when they played again. I don't think the Panthers beat the Rams this weekend. As a matter of fact, if I had to look in my crystal ball or I've had to ask myself, I think it's going to be the Rams in the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. Whew. But I don't want to go that far. Okay. I don't want to go that far. And I do think the Eagles are going to beat the Niners. At first, David Burbank, I had the Niners winning that, but then I have found out the Seahawks beat up the Niners.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I feel like we've been seeing this entire season is teams play the Seahawks, and then the weeks following, they're beat up. They're distressed. Yeah. They're depressed from losing to the Seahawks, being oppressed by the Seahawks defense.
It's like the OG Scott on a Sunday morning. What's wrong with him? He got beat up by Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Sully, you remember them days where you used to get beat down?
You mean like last Friday and Saturday? That's going to happen tonight? I mean, I know those days intimately.
Now, you said you don't care about the AFC games. I do. What is the game that you, just as a general football fan, are the most excited to watch? What is going to be the most dynamic game? NFC, AFC, just game in general. As a football fan, what do you want to watch?
Niners, Eagles. Yeah. I believe the Niners, Eagles, and the Bears, Packers. Well, first of all, Bears, Packers, that's the biggest rivalry in NFL football anyways. So you got that game. That's always going to be a doozy. And then the Niners and the Eagles. Those are the games I'm looking forward to. I seriously, I really don't care about the AFC because in my heart of hearts, I don't think the AFC teams are really that great.
Okay, let me ask you this.
What's up?
Let's be honest here. Let's say some kidnapper has stolen Vito and Frankie.
Okay, my cats.
And they say the only way you're getting Vito and Frankie back are by telling me, who will be facing each other in the Super Bowl?
Good one. Seahawks and the Broncos. Yeah. And by the way, of course, there's bias for the Seahawks. Now, let me put my bias to the side. I've admitted that. The Seahawks, number one scoring defense in the NFL. That defense is serious. It's number one. Number two, the run game is absolutely outstanding, right? So the Seahawks on the NFC side. On the AFC side, and I need to get Frankie and Vito back, the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, that defense is number two.
Well, in the Seahawks case and in Denver's case, you cannot argue with getting the first round bye and getting home field advantage through the playoffs. Like, that is unquestionably the biggest advantage you can get, honestly, in all of sports in playoffs.
Yeah, so I'm going to say it'll be another rematch of Super Bowl 48. And how did that go? Yeah, can't remember. But, I go a rematch
Still
right there down
safety.
in Levi Stadium. But I got a dilemma, man. I just realized that I looked at my calendar for the year, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sure my auctioneering starts at the end of February.
Uh-oh.
No, it starts February 7th in Milwaukee. That's the Saturday before the Super Bowl.
Well, you know what? As Vito and Frankie often say, take some catnip and don't worry about it right now.
Meow. That's pretty cool.
Reset Podcast, YouTube. Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
Do not get on southbound 405. I'll continue to warn you away from Linwood because of the 5-mile bumper-to-bumper not moving backup that goes all the way down to 195th and Beardsley in the Bothell area because of this double dump truck or, the truck and a pup. I get it. I wasn't sure most people would understand that, so that's why I'm calling it a double. But the rear end flipped, dumped a little bit of its load. It's back up on its tires, but we've got an hour and 5-minute trip from Linwood to Bellevue. We've got 30 minutes from Linwood to Seattle, though we're definitely seeing a lot more action with people going over and getting down across 520 and going over. So that's starting to fill in a little bit. Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour. The Valley Freeway's nice, 40 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, about 45. And the Olympia to Tacoma Drive's not bad at all. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And we've learned something new today, right, Sully?
What's that?
That it's not a double dump truck, it's a pup.
It's a pup or a truck and a pup. Yeah. Again, I wasn't sure most of our listeners would kind of understand, so I just called it the most simplest thing.
I feel as if I've learned. We're headed for a high of 50 today. Cloudy rain starting late tomorrow and through the weekend. Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, we have CBS with the latest of the ICE shooting in Minneapolis.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people, make it work for them. Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO Newsradio app.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you ever lose your balance or feel dizzy for no apparent reason? Do you hear ringing in your ears or have migraines? These are all signs you could have a problem with your inner ear or vestibular system. To learn more, call the Vestibular Disorders Helpline at 800-837-8428. That's 800-837-8428. Sponsored by the Vestibular Disorders Association.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is addictive and can harm brain development. That's why I worry about teens who try e-cigarettes. Many young people use pod-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which have high levels of nicotine. And because teens' brains are still developing, they can quickly become addicted. The tobacco industry uses fruit and candy flavors to attract young people, often turning them into lifelong users. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Join Northwest Hope and Healing for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration benefiting local breast and gynecologic cancer patients. Get your tickets now for January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Steve Kathan. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry is again pressing for federal officials to allow local authorities to take part in the investigation into the fatal ICE shooting in the city.
They're calling the actions of the agent involved as some form of defensive posture. We know that they've already determined much of the investigation, and even if they haven't, there is the appearance that there is some conclusion drawn from the very beginning.
This morning, city workers removed barricades that have been blocking streets around the scene where the ICE officer shot 37-year-old Renee Good as she tried to drive away. In Portland, Oregon, CBS's Gwen Baumgardner has more on the shooting of 2 people by federal agents.
The Department of Homeland Security posted on X saying that U.S. Border Patrol agents were conducting a targeted vehicle stop involving suspected Venezuelan members of the Tren de Aragua gang. Agents say when they told the 2 people who they were, the driver tried to run them over with his car, leading the agent, who feared for his life and safety, to fire a defensive shot.
The U.S. military says forces have boarded an oil tanker in the Caribbean early today, 3rd one this week. President Trump's meeting today with oil industry executives about investment in Venezuela. The government says employers tacked on 50,000 new jobs last month. Bankrate.com analyst Mark Hamrick says the unemployment rate fell a bit to 4.4%.
This really does not change the narrative for the job market, which has been relatively lackluster. On the one hand, we have relatively resilient economic growth in the United States, but workers could look at this and say, how does that help me? The unemployment rate in the mid 4% range of late and the number of jobs added, the weakest in 5 years.
CBS's Holly Williams reports Iran's supreme leader has called protesters who have filled the streets of many cities for days now vandals.
These mass demonstrations were originally sparked by Iran's flailing economy, which is being squeezed by sanctions. But now protesters are airing much bigger grievances. Last night, they reportedly shouted death to the dictator and death to the Islamic Republic.
A protest here at home led to legal action and now a settlement, as we hear from CBS's Jim Crisula.
The New York City College Cooper Union will change its protest policies as part of settling a lawsuit brought by Jewish students who accused the school of tolerating anti-Semitism, including during a pro-Palestinian protest that briefly trapped the Jewish students inside the school's library.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 111 points. The S&P is up 27. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
8:03 now, Friday morning. Let's check in with Sully.
And my warning to avoid southbound 405 out of Linwood continues into its 3rd hour, as we have seen a very heavy drive because only one lane is open on southbound 405 as you approach 195th and Beardsley in the Bothell area. Only the express toll lane is open. We had a double dump truck or a truck and a pup. Back end, the pup rolled and spilled a little bit of its load there, and so they've got it righted and they're in the process of cleaning it up, but still only one lane and open, and we've got an hour and 10-minute trip from Linwood to Bellevue. That's a 40-minute delay. It's about 35 minutes from Linwood to Seattle, though I am starting to see a lot of people who've made that choice to stay on I-5 come down to 520 and start heading east, so we're starting to see some brake lights in the eastbound direction there. Northbound 405 has some brake lights coming out of the, right there in the S-curves, but 30 minutes to make the drive to Bellevue is good. Behind that, only 40 on the Valley Freeway. Olympia to Tacoma looks pretty good. Tacoma itself is quiet. Federal Way to Seattle, about 45, with 30 of those minutes from South Center. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App, listen to your favorite shows, get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
Good Friday morning. It is Friday, January 9th, 2026. Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off.
Your discretion, police are en route. It looks like caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
That's in Portland as dispatchers are calling out what happened yesterday. Border Patrol agents shot a man and a woman during a traffic stop, and their conditions are unknown right now. Protesters gathered yesterday evening outside the ICE facility in Portland. That is where we find KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey, who is learning more this hour about the case.
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. Yes, it is relatively quiet out here this morning. There are no protesters here, but last night this was the scene of about 100 or so protesters 6 were arrested by Portland police. That brings the total number since June to 79 protesters have been arrested here. This ICE facility, where I'm standing across the street from, the scene of violent clashes in the past with federal agents. That was not the case last night. We're told that those protests were not violent. Those 6 people arrested were in the middle of the road blocking traffic after they were warned to get out of the street. That's when they were arrested, but they weren't violent necessarily. Now, more on the shooting and the 2 people apparently involved, according to the Homeland Security. Homeland Security says the Customs and Border agents shot those 2 people not too far from here, about a couple of miles north from where I'm standing at this ICE facility, after they tried to run over an agent, they say. DHS also adding more description this morning to the 2. This is their words. They are describing the 2 as criminal illegal aliens, that the man entered the U.S. back in 2022 illegally, that he was a member, DHS says, of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. The woman, DHS says, entered the U.S. in El Paso, Texas, illegally back in 2023. And according to Homeland Security, they are saying prostitute. That's the picture that they're painting this morning. The 2 were taken to 2 different hospitals. They were injured, no word on their condition. Here was Portland Mayor Keith Wilson reacting to that shooting.
Not abstract. They are felt in hospital rooms and living rooms, in the quiet moments when families try to make sense of what happened, what is happening.
You know, I will also say about the 2 who were involved in the shooting who were shot by agents, their names are out there. We are not going to release their names because, like we do with anyone who is involved in any kind of investigation or case, unless they're charged with a crime, that's just a policy. We're not going to do that. But again, DHS trying to paint a picture about those 2. In the meantime, on the other side of this, Oregon's Department of Justice this morning now announcing they're going to open an investigation into this shooting. They have informed the federal government they're doing so, and they say they will prosecute any federal agent that they find to have used force beyond the reasonable scope of their duty. Again, this ICE facility has been the scene of violent clashes in the past with protesters. Remember, National Guard troops came here to this ICE facility. They were deployed for a time. They are gone now, and it is quiet so far here this morning, where we're live in Portland. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And Luke, just so I'm clear, we're on the same page. The Homeland Security saying they're violent criminals and their violent crimes were DUI and unauthorized use of a vehicle for the man, and for the woman, her violent crime was being a prostitute?
That's right. That's the information they're releasing. And more information about what happened yesterday. They claim that as soon as agents identified themselves, it was part of a targeted arrest. That's when, in their words, the man involved in this hit the gas and aimed his car toward an agent. And they say the agent had no choice but to fire and shot those 2. But yeah, that's the latest from the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay. Luke, thank you. A lot more to uncover there. On the Seattle waterfront yesterday, hundreds of people gathered to remember Renee Good. She was the woman shot and killed in Minneapolis Wednesday. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibow was at the Seattle protest.
A lot of frustration over the killing of Renee Good. There's hundreds, if not 1,000 people that have gathered here at Pier 58 at the waterfront, honoring the wife and mother of 3. Now, advocacy groups have been taking turns at the podium, speaking out, calling for solidarity and justice and reform.
Meantime, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson condemns an ICE operation in North Seattle.
I am furious at the federal government's abuse of power.
More from KIRO News Radio's Aaron Granillo.
Mayor Wilson says armed agents in an unmarked vehicle detained 3 men at a cemetery along Aurora Avenue Wednesday morning. Wilson acknowledges the city has little authority over immigration enforcement.
So I'm working with Police Chief Barnes, City Attorney Evans, immigrant rights groups, and local leaders to identify every possible legal argument, public resource, and creative tool we can use to keep the people of Seattle safe.
No details on the people who were detained by ICE, but City Council member Bob Kettle says it appears federal agents first confronted those men at a Home Depot. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning. Thanks for being here. It's Friday, January 9th, and I am Charlie Harger. with the day off is Manda Factor. As she is on the mend, she will be back with us Monday. Sully is here, though, checking traffic on the 3s. You're gearing up for the months of hell?
Oh, yeah. It's going to start Monday. Well, I mean, this weekend you got the full closure, but the real deal will be our first commute Monday morning. Yeah. It's going to be rough.
We were really last year, the first station, even talking about the first month of hell.
Right. I started talking about it in January of last year.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen until July, and people were still caught off guard. And they're going to be caught off guard Monday morning when they get on I-5 in Linwood and be like, geez, why am I not moving? Well, because the express lanes are going to be open in the northbound direction for the next 5 months.
Not much you
with
can do.
No switching.
Okay. Well, coming up this hour of the show, we are going to hear from Roberto Dondish, a lecturer of Latin America and diplomacy at the UW-Jackson School of International Studies. He has some thoughts on the U.S. intervention in Venezuela. We'll talk with him about that. And we'll also hear from KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden, who's stopping by with the Weekend Planner. 8:11 now. A 17-year-old shoreline boy pleads not guilty to killing a 15-year-old girl who disappeared last year. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
King County prosecutors charged 17-year-old Kamaria Onaki with the murder of 15-year-old Ajane Brooks. Brooks was found dead last June in a shoreline apartment 3 days after she went missing. Casey McNerthney with the King County prosecutor's office says he is being held on $5 million bail.
When you see the added allegation that he was attempting to sexually exploit the victim before her death, the reasons for that high bail amount are even more apparent.
Charges include murder with a firearm enhancement, human trafficking, and felony assault. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Police and shelter staff need help caring for more than 100 cats taken from a home in Buckley.
When investigated, it was determined the conditions were unsafe for any human or animal.
So they're asking for cat food and litter, as well as medium and large wire animal crates. If you have extras, you can drop them off at the Buckley Police Department. 8:12 now. Let's get a check on the weather, and it looks like today is going to be dry. Maybe some sun breaks for the afternoon. Headed for a high of 50 in Seattle. Tomorrow we have morning sun breaks, but by the afternoon into the evening, a chance of rain. Showers late in the day, and rain heavy at times likely on Sunday and Monday, with highs both days in the mid-50s and overnight lows. Kind of warm, actually. It'll be warm enough in the studio for us. 46 on Sunday, 48 for the low on Monday. We're cloudy and 45 right now in Seattle. Whenever it gets cold outside, so it's an ice box in here.
Yeah, it does. That's, we like to stay frosty.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, the holidays are over. No more Frosty, no more Rudolph, none of that.
Yeah, they're always in my heart.
Okay.
Not some Scrooge like you.
I know. A lot of people are feeling Scrooge-like about what's happening on 405.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's just not moving. I mean, when you get an hour and 10-minute trip from Linwood to Bellevue, that's a bad day. That's a 45-minute delay over what you should be getting on a Friday. Here's what happened. We had a double dump truck, or a truck and a pup, as we've been hearing. The rear end rolled over and dumped a little bit of its load on southbound 405 right as you get to 195th in Beardsley. Only the express toll lane is open at this point, and we're backed up all the way to Linwood. And they've righted it, but they're in the process of cleaning everything up, plus probably a little bit of a fuel spill there. So give yourself, as I said, an hour and 10 minutes from Linwood to Bellevue, about 35 minutes from Linwood down into Seattle. A really much better drive. If you have the choice and you're coming down from, say, Everett, and your goal is to get to Bellevue, stay with I-5. And then to catch a lake bridge over and don't look back. Looking at the rest of the map now, we've got about a 32-minute trip now from Renton to Bellevue. We have brake lights through the S-curves, and then a little bit over the top of I-90 working into downtown. Northbound 167, nice and easy. Got about a 40-minute trip for you guys. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. Tacoma itself is quiet. Federal Way to Seattle, about 43 minutes. We've got the brake lights there past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown, but that's about it. The lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
Good Good morning. It's 8:14. The situation in Venezuela continues to evolve this week. Ousted leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife are in U.S. custody. President Trump threatening land attacks on the South American country. And the leaders of massive oil companies meeting with the president today to discuss the future of oil from Venezuela. And joining us to break it all down is Roberto Dondish, a lecturer of Latin America and diplomacy at the UW-Jackson School of International Studies. Well, thanks for joining us, Roberto. Glad to have you in studio with us today. Your thoughts? You've watched this unravel over the past week, along with the rest of us. When you saw the news Saturday morning, what went through your mind?
So, well, first of all, thank you for having me here. You know what? It of course was a surprise to many of us the way it happened, but it has been building up for the past year and a half, to the point that we knew something was going to happen, which is probably very few people actually thought that what actually happened, the U.S. going in an overnight raid and capturing Maduro and his wife, would actually happen the way it did. But it's been happening for a while. Now the question right now is, okay, so what's next? What happens? Because we've seen how the U.S. has established or made a case for a new kind of foreign policy towards the hemisphere. We've seen how it has attacked the ships or the boats with the logic of narco-terrorism, but how it's all coming together, and more importantly, what happens now to Venezuela, which is the big question.
Let's start with Venezuela, in that it appeared earlier in the week that they were on a path to establishing new leaders for the country. It just sounds, to me at least, like by putting the vice president in now, she is going to largely have the same policies Maduro did, only she's a different person and might be more compliant with the U.S. Is that a fair observation? It is.
This is one of the most interesting parts of this is that at the end of the day, Maduro was the leader of Venezuela, illegitimate leader because he lost the elections, nevertheless stayed in power in 24. And Edmundo Gonzalez had actually won the elections. But anyhow, they're there, and it's not only him, it's a whole structure below him. And they'll see the vice president. She's a very much of a part of the regime. So what happened right now was the U.S. took Maduro out, but the regime is still there. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. actually, that was the plan from the beginning, that it appears, to maintain the regime and to force them to change their ways. Now, that's a big if. And that's where we are right now.
Can you just maybe describe for our listeners, these are not good people. In terms of the starvation, what they did to the people of Venezuela, it's no big loss that we've lost Maduro, right?
So Maduro was clearly somebody who had lost the elections in the past round. They've been incarcerating any kind of opposing leader that might actually take power from them in a legitimate election process. They've had, people like Edmundo Gonzalez actually won the elections, but Freddy Guevara was in jail. Leopoldo Gomez was in jail because they actually were threatening the power of the system, of the party. So that's right. The reality is that this was an illegitimate regime. Now, it's also true that the action of the U.S. is illegal. So you have two illegal things happening here at the same time.
I want to move from Venezuela to Colombia because overnight, President Trump says he spoke to the leader of Colombia and everything's fine now. What do you make of that?
So again, it goes back to the national security strategy that the U.S. just put out in November, when it changes actually the view of how to operate in the hemisphere. It actually goes back to the 80s and says, okay, well, this is going to be our area of most concern. And the most important thing is that we're going to be there to make sure that, doesn't say China and Russia, and Iran, but those are the countries they're referring to, don't actually have a take in what's happening in the hemisphere. And Now, President Petro has been somebody who has been very critical of the U.S. and whose actions are actually quite, even in New York, he was in New York and he was actually calling on the U.S. National Guard to not abide by the decision or the instructions that they were getting from the Trump government. This is something that we normally don't see, but this is who Petro is. He's a former guerrilla fighter. He's a democratically elected leader of Colombia, and Colombia is a country that has a lot of issues, but it's pushing a modern country coming forward with a clear opposition as well. They're going to have elections soon as well. So I think it's interesting. Yes, the U.S. sent a message. Petro got it, and it seems that he's changing the tone. But it works out to a certain limit. So the U.S. can push to a certain point, but if it goes further than that, then people are going to start opposing it again.
So with this, I think some people are calling it the Donroe Doctrine, Donroe instead of the Monroe Doctrine. What do you think is going through the mind of Mexican President Sheinbaum right now as she sees these actions to the south of her country?
So she's been very clear. Actually, she made a very interesting speech yesterday. And right now, actually, in Mexico City, we're having the meeting of ambassadors and consuls. All of the Mexican ambassadors around the world and consuls are back in Mexico, and they're getting instructions. And they just got this message. And I think President Sheinbaum has been she's managing very, very well so far in the sense of saying we clearly oppose what's happening. But we work with the U.S., we've always worked with the U.S., and we're more than happy to work with the U.S., but there are limits, and sovereignty is a limit. So we have to, it's in the best interest of the U.S. to work with us, not against us. We want stability. We want, the better Mexico does, the better it is for the U.S. It's the biggest market for U.S. goods. And if you want to stop, as actually has happened, migration from Mexico to the U.S. is actually negative. But it's because the Mexican economy is doing better. So it's better for the U.S. when Mexico does better. It's better for Mexico when the U.S. does better. And that's the reality.
What do you suppose some of the next steps are as this is something not a lot of us saw coming? As somebody who has been involved in diplomacy, what do you see as some of the potential next moves here?
So I think one of the things that we're getting used to now in diplomacy is to go past the wording and actually look at what's happening on the ground. President Trump's way of explaining things is very inflammatory. And I was hearing somebody say, this is really interesting. So remember when the U.S. went into Iraq, the administration bent it backwards and just to try to explain that it was not because of oil. It was because of other reasons. Now, it's not even the case. They're saying that we're there because of oil. And the reality is that it's probably not because of oil. It's because of other reasons. So we're in this new world that we have to understand that the way they're explaining things is different. But let's try to think about what's actually happening on the ground. What are the interests of the U.S. in the region? What are the interests of other countries in the region? And how is this going to shape out? So we're getting into a situation where there's going to be a lot of discussion, a lot of work in the hemisphere, but at the same time, people are going to have their antennas raised and be very careful.
Well, Roberto, I think I could talk with you all morning. We're out of time today, but please come back as this develops because I don't think this is over today. And as it develops, it's great to have an expert in our own backyard at the UW.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Okay, Roberto Dondish with the UW-Jackson School of International Studies joining us on Seattle's Morning News. Sully, you are watching traffic for us. Where do we start?
Well, we're going to start where we've been all morning. And I'm sure a lot of people who have been hearing me for the last hour are stuck in this. We've got a 4.5 to 5 mile backup on southbound 405 away from Linwood all the way down to 195th and Beardsley. That's where we continue to work with this double dump truck that lost its half end, or its rear end, I should say, and dumped a little bit of its load. Only the express toll lane is open, and you can use it. They're not charging you, by the way. It's $0 through there, which is good. But we have an hour and 10-minute trip from Linwood into Bellevue. That is a 40 40-plus minute delay. It's only 35 minutes from Linwood down into Seattle. So if you have a choice, you're coming down from Everett or you're coming down from Linwood, you should stick with I-5 and then catch a Lake Bridge back. You will save a ton of time because the Lake Bridges are good. Northbound 405, Renton to Bellevue, back under a half an hour, which is great. The Valley Freeway is only 40 minutes. Coming up from the south end, we've got Olympia to Tacoma looking really good. Tacoma's quiet. Federal Way to Seattle is running around 42 minutes, so we're not doing too badly. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
After voters made it clear they want change,
That I will faithfully conduct myself as the mayor of the city of Seattle.
what should Seattle residents expect from Mayor Katie Wilson?
She talked a lot about our affordability crisis.
Northwest News voices you depend on.
It's a misdiagnosis of the problem. You believe government can solve this problem.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM. The KIRO News Radio app with opinion and analysis at mynorthwest.com.
For seniors, the new year is a good time to reassess finances. If you're struggling with bills, our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage says a reverse mortgage may be a great way to ease your stress.
Seniors tell me all the time, we love our home, we'd love to stay here, but we just can't afford it anymore. A reverse mortgage lets you tap your home equity for tax-free cash to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debts, and maybe put some extra money in the bank. You've worked hard for that home equity. Now let your home work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
And you always talk to a real person, not an AI robot.
That's right. You'll get a no-pressure consultation directly from me. Never a sales pitch and never an AI bot.
Honest advice you can trust from Best Mortgage, the reverse mortgage experts, the VA loan and debt consolidation experts too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Right now, save $600 on windows and $1,500 on doors from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy 12 months same-as-cash financing. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show. It's the best time to buy. January 30th through February 7th. With big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games, just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older.
For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:31. Customs and Border Patrol agents shot and wounded 2 people in Portland yesterday afternoon. Oregon Governor Tina
When a
Kotek
president endorses tearing families apart and attempts to govern through fear and hate rather than shared values, you foster an environment of lawlessness and recklessness.
We still don't know the exact circumstances leading to the shooting. Protesters gathered yesterday evening outside the ICE facility in Portland. We are joined live now by KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey, who is there. Luke?
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. Yeah, hundreds of protesters were here last night, being told, and they were relatively peaceful. However, 6 people were arrested by Portland police here. It is quiet outside, has been all morning long so far, but we do expect protesters will be back here this weekend at this ICE facility. It has been the scene of some pretty violent clashes between protesters and federal officers and agents in the past. New this morning, the Department of Homeland Security is now naming the 2 people shot a couple of miles north from where I'm standing. DHS says they were carrying out a targeted arrest of, and we have decided to name these because they are suspects in a crime and they have been charged in other crimes in this country. DHS says they were carrying out a targeted arrest of Luis Moncada and Yorlenes Zambrano Contreras. They described them both as criminal illegal aliens who illegally entered the U.S. in 2022 and 2023, respectively. DHS says he is a member of a Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and she was his prostitute. A witness now tells the Seattle Times Moncada was driving at the time yesterday when he was confronted by Customs and Border agents. Those agents rapped on his window of his vehicle. Moncada apparently got scared, reportedly backed his car up into another vehicle, and then sped off to get away. The witness says they heard 5 gunshots at that point. DHS and Homeland Security says that Moncada tried to run over an agent. That's why they fired. The 2 were taken to different hospitals here in downtown Portland. No word yet on their condition. The Oregon Justice Department has now said they are opening an investigation of their own. They will prosecute, they say, any federal agent they find used force in that incident beyond the, quote, reasonable scope of their duty. That's where we are right now. Again, quiet right now outside the ICE facility. That should, we expect, pick up with more protests as they've been ongoing for weeks and months now this weekend. Live in Portland, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
All right, and thank you, Luke, for all your coverage in Portland this morning. 8:33 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And we got a little positive news for our 405 issue in Bothell. The dump truck that lost its its rear end earlier this morning and dumped a little bit of load of its gravel and sand. They've moved it out of the way. Now they're in the process of cleaning up the mess there. And for a brief moment, they had all lanes of the freeway blocked just a little bit. They've now reopened the express toll lane. Either way, right now, only one lane is open through that area, and we have a backup that extends more than 5 miles all the way to Linwood. And we've an hour and 10-minute trip from Linwood into Bellevue. That is a 40-minute delay. Your best bet is to stick with I-5, go all the way down to Seattle and catch a lake bridge over, because you will save yourself a ton of time. It's only 30 minutes from Linwood into Seattle. Rest of the map, Friday light for certain. I mean, Pierce County buried just a little bit of blips of yellow here and there. Puyallup to Renton is under 40 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is under a half an hour. Federal Way to Seattle back closer to about 42 minutes, which is really great. The lake bridges are in fine shape. So this report is brought to you by Emerald Queen Casino. The live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen. The main event powered by WFC, February 6th only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Cloudy, a high of 51 today. Showers tomorrow, rain Sunday. Right now, it is 43 in Seattle.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
A lot of drama around Montlake this week. UW quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. announced earlier in the week he was going to enter the college football transfer portal. That got a lot of pushback from the UW saying he had signed a contract. Thought we would bring in a former star UW quarterback and host of the Brock and Sock Show on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Brock Heward, thanks for joining us. Just give us a little context. What did you make of all of this drama?
Well, I'm no contract law specialist. I'm not that, Charlie. So I have a challenge there, because that seemed to be where some of this went from a technicality standpoint. Like, well, is this an employee contract? Is this a services contract? All I know is this: when that went down, both Jed Fish, along with everybody at the University of Washington, said, hold on just a second. You signed this deal. You'd already negotiated it. Other schools had already tampered because he had not gone into the portal, but he knew his value, and that value was roughly $4 million, which is an incredible sum of money. And when he signed that dotted line, it was very clear to the folks on the UW side, like, this is as black and white as it gets. This will prohibit you from further negotiating and further going into the portal. And he signed that deal. And that was January 2nd. And as you mentioned, a couple days later, he decides then, contracts. What are contracts? I'm gonna go in this portal anyway, because either Ole Miss or Miami is going to pay me even more money, from what I understand, as they continue to tamper. And the UW said, yeah, we can't do this. We can't set this precedent. We'll have to fight it. And I'm sorry, DeMond, we're not going to let you enter the portal. And if you want to seek legal remedies, we are as well. And lawyer up. And at that point, his agent left him. His agent, who, by the way, was the agent for Marshawn Lynch and many in the town here, said, yeah, I'm not going to side with DeMond on this. He's wrong. And I'm out. And I think at that point, finally, the family and other folks that were in his ear said, yeah, this is a case we can't win. You better apologize and hopefully mend a lot of fences.
I've never been a college quarterback, Brock, but it seems to me this is something that is just a nuke that has gone off in the locker room.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to have to earn back a lot of equity and trust, kind of like you did on those stairs, and doing the planks and doing the wall sits with me, Charlie. Like you and I earned a lot of trust.
Yes, I think so.
You work out together, you become teammates together and all that good stuff. Yeah, he is. The timing of when he did it as well at the funeral of a student athlete who was lost to cancer was absolutely about the worst timing you could possibly announce it. There were a lot of teammates outraged, a lot of alumni, a lot of Tyee Club, a lot of donors, still very, very outraged at this. And yet I think Jed and the school will say, listen, he's 19 years old. He made a terrible decision. He made a terrible mistake. He had terrible judgment. He had bad actors in his ear. And this is the state of college football. Wasn't meant for 17, 18, and 19-year-olds to deal with millions and millions of dollars, right? We have watched that with professional athletes make a lot of really bad decisions. This was a bad decision, and the consequence is he's going to have to earn back a lot of trust.
All right, Brock, how did we get here? I mean, you know me. I'm a college football guy. Spent my life loving this sport. You said some things is like, wow, when did pro sports all of a sudden become the one with loyalty? And, how did we get, I know the long answer, but it's like, man, this is not the sport I love.
Chris, this is not even pro sports. Pro sports now feels pure, feels right, feels loyal. We have stars that stick around, that don't go in a portal every single year and as transactional as this has become. This is what happens when deregulation comes. This is what happens when there's no guardrails, when there's no rules, when there's no regulation, when there's no leadership, when there's no collectively bargained agreement. I could go on, Chris, but it's, once the NCAA lost that Supreme Court case 9-0, they threw their hands up and said, we're out. We're out. And in their place has come nobody. Has come greed, has come commissioners, has come, conference realignment and destruction, which has also been a disaster. So, yeah, this is beyond the wild, wild west.
How do we get back? Is there a chance to get back, or is it too far gone?
Well, I wonder if incidents like this, these train wreck moments like this, the train wreck that has been, Lane Kiffin during the offseason and leaving his team in the playoffs and all, I just wonder at some point, the most powerful people in the sport are the networks at Disney and Fox, and followed by the commissioners of the Big Ten and the SEC. Those are the significant power brokers. And until they come together in that leadership, and then it's followed by the coaches, and the coaches that have to honor their contracts and have a lot stronger language of that. Until some of those forces come in play, Chris, I don't see anything, unfortunately, changing anytime soon.
All right, Brock Heward, we need to stick you back in the transfer portal. Off to 710 Seattle Sports you go.
Better deal there.
Charlie. You got it, Chris. See you, boys.
Okay, Chris, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to talk about the southbound 405 corridor, as we have all morning. Big issues in Bothell, breaking it down next.
Have you thought about how your finances should change in 2026? Well, my friends at WaFd Bank can help. Right, Brad?
Right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. You also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me about this voice-activated banking I've been hearing about.
You can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts when your hands are full, which, let's face it, is probably most of the time. You'll also have access to free tools like person-to-person payments with Zelle, mobile check deposit, intuitive new debit card management tools to turn your card on and off, set spending notifications, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And you can choose from those great-looking Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves debit cards. So visit WaFdBank.com to open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
8:43. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And we are still working on only one lane open in southbound 405 in Bothell, right at the 195th Beardsley exit. They're still working to clean up the aftermath of a dump truck that lost its rear end. It's PUP, as it's called, and it dumped a little bit of sand and gravel on the road. So for most of the morning, we've only had the express toll lane open. And it is free. I mean, they're not going to gouge you on a day like today. They could. I know a lot of people think they might, but they didn't. It's $0 to go through there in the express toll lane because that's the only lane that's open. But we had an hour and 10-minute trip from Linwood into Bellevue. That is a 40-minute delay on this Friday. You're looking at 35 minutes or less from Linwood to Seattle. So if you're north of the Linwood split, stick with I-5 and then catch a lake bridge over. You will thank me later. Federal Way to Seattle, back under 45 minutes, which is great. The heaviest part there right north of West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Renton to Bellevue, under 25 minutes. Well, about 25 minutes total. The Valley Freeway is about 35 now, so that's great. Both lake bridges in both directions continue to be in very good shape. So all in all, we're not doing bad everywhere except for that 405 southbound drive. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
I almost had a suggestion for you about the tolling and for our state lawmakers.
Yeah.
But then I realized we have lawmakers who listen, and I don't want to give them any ideas about how to close the budget gap.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah, that $15 would be $35 on Monday if that was the case.
$1,500.
Yeah, well, incremental. We're like the frog in boiling water, Charlie.
Well, we'll only get to that point if we need it. Taking a look at the forecast, we expect a high of 51 today, cloudy, maybe some sun breaks by the afternoon, showers by tomorrow afternoon, and rain heavy at times Sunday and Monday. Seattle right now is 43. Coming up next is Paul Holden with the Weekend Planner on Seattle's Morning News.
John Curley here. As humans, we value things that last. Local businesses, long-term relationships, people who have been in the community for years. That's Madrona Financial and CPAs. For decades, they've been serving Washingtonians, and what makes them different? They combine taxes and investments under one roof. Most firms do one or the other, but not both. Taxes are often your biggest retirement expense, bigger than travel or healthcare. Yet most never get a clear look at how taxes and investments fit together. That's why Madrona offers the Madrona Analysis. It's an easy-to-understand review of your retirement picture, income, taxes, investments, all working together in one coordinated plan. Best of all, it's conversational. You'll talk with someone who explains it all in plain English. Discover hidden tax traps, see if your portfolio matches income needs, and learn steps to retire with confidence. Call 833-673-7373 for your complimentary Madrona Analysis. Madrona Financial and CPAs, local, trusted, and here to put the whole picture together.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
This winter, drive with confidence in a Subaru from Subaru of Puyallup. From rainy commutes to icy roads, Subaru's legendary all-wheel drive and advanced safety are built for our winters. Subaru of Puyallup is known for something even better, a stress-free car buying experience. No pressure, no games, just friendly Subaru experts helping you find the right vehicle at the right price. Start shopping now and see our stress-free pricing exclusively at SubaruofPuyallup.com. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free delivery. Angel of the Winds Arena, Everett. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
Sully, if Seattle's Morning News is a passenger jet, what kind of plane are we?
Oh, without question, we're a wide body.
Wide body.
Or as we like to call it.
Speak for yourself.
We're a twin aisle, baby. Twin aisle with lots and lots of horsepower.
There we go. Well, we are approaching final descent. The landing gear on Seattle's Morning News is down. We are in the final moments of today's show, which means it's perfect time to have Paul Holden to stop by with your weekend planner. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. Was that a compliment or... I'm
Certainly.
assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
787 Dreamliner is a wonderful plane.
Have you ever flown in a Dreamliner?
No.
They're
I would
pretty sweet.
I would assume so.
They're pretty sweet.
Just like you, Sully.
I couldn't tell you what type of plane. I just get on the plane, whatever it is. That's what it is for me. But
we got to send him back to Denver.
That's right. Hey, we got lots of fun going on this weekend. You might still be feeling a little bit of that. Are you feeling a little tired from all the holiday parties and all the holiday fun?
I had to work 5 days this week.
Yeah,
5 days in a row.
What is this madness? Well, let's talk about the fun stuff and let's end the show on a high note here.
It's Friday then, there's Saturday, Sunday, what? There's Friday then, there's Saturday, Sunday, what?
Well, just after taking all of that time off you took for the holidays, I'm sure you can't think enough about your next trip. And I know a lot of people are going to be thinking that at the Seattle Convention Center this weekend as they're going to head to the Travel and Adventure Show. And this was a pretty big deal, I think, for folks. If you're, I got a big trip coming up this year, and I'm a little unfamiliar. When you're talking about leaving the country, I'm doing my delayed honeymoon this year. And you might not know when to get started, where to get started, where to look, who to talk to, because you think, oh, you can just Google it. But no, that's why events like this matter. It's so you can go out and learn the things that you need to know before you head out. So you can plan your next adventure. Panels and speakers are going to help you get helpful tips before you head out there. And of course, save some money. So you can go and see there's going to be opportunities for you to save some money on some trips, find some deals. That's going on at the Seattle Convention Center all weekend long. Any Stranger Things fans here in the room?
I've enjoyed a Stranger Thing or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife and I are pretty big fans. We've already watched all the new season.
Have you been inspired to play a certain game that it plays a big role in that show? Little Dungeons and Dragons, perhaps?
Nope, I cannot say that I have any inclination to play Dungeons and Dragons, but I understand people that would because the show kind of really glorifies
Charlie,
it.
what about you?
He's too busy playing Quidditch.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go. Well, if you want to be part of the Hellfire Club like Stranger Things, you might want to head to the Doubletree in SeaTac for OrcaCon. So this is going to be a whole weekend full of board games, card games. And what's cool about this is they're going to be doing previews of games that are like really new. So if you're a big card game fan or a board game fan and you're like, oh, this might sound like a good idea, you can get your hands on some of these new games, do a demo, and even take some of these early releases and stuff home with you and your friends. But they're going to be doing stuff all weekend long, very inclusive event, and you can get tickets and details at orcacon.org. I always want to say com with those things.
Yeah.
But also, we do have some traffic stuff building here coming up, obviously, next week.
What?
But I know. Crazy, right? Remember, stuff is happening with traffic coming up this weekend and into Monday. Breaking news, Sully, right for you.
I didn't know anything about this. Wow. Really dropped the ball.
How did you miss this?
The good news is you can take light rail and it's going to get you right to the event. They actually advertise it right there. So you don't even have to stay down there. You can take light rail. It's going to get you right there. And that's not the only big collectible thing going on this weekend. University of Washington is putting on the Emerald City Card Show. And I was listening into the newsroom yesterday. James Lynch was shocked to hear it's how much some of these Pokemon cards are worth.
Like $50-$60?
Like a few $1,000s. And so you might find some of those, or you might find that perfect card, because it's not only just going to be Pokemon cards, it's going to be sports cards. Maybe you can find a retro Brock Heward card maybe out there in the collection there. But there's going to be over 150 vendors at the Husky Union building selling sports cards, Pokemon cards, collectibles, art, and so much more. We got details on that and short films from the Sundance Film Festival. More information on that at mynorthwest.com. And as always, folks, if you got cool stuff going on, let me know. Paul H. at KIRORadio.com.
Well, Paul, you mentioned you were planning your honeymoon. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't decided yet, Aberdeen is beautiful this time of year. You really might want to check that out, too, lovebirds.
There we go.
That's what Aberdeen is known for.
Is that actually what Aberdeen is known for?
Absolutely.
It's the only thing Aberdeen's known for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go.
And
maybe
if you can't make it there,
instead of leaving the country, I'll just keep it more of the staycation.
How about Fife? Also, fantastic
nothing
honeymoon
says fun
destination.
like Fife.
Yeah, it sure does.
Wapato, there's tons of great places here.
Wapato. God, there's so many cool
Cosmopolis.
names.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I don't think you can afford Cosmopolis.
Quilcene.
Wilsine, Cosmopolis. Okay.
Could go to Venezuela.
Oh, what about Nacelle?
Ooh, Nacelle, good one.
You guys are saying these names, and I'm not going to lie. Like, there could eventually be a line where it's just like, is that a real name around here? Who knows? But lots more information, mynorthwest.com.
All right, Paul, thank you. And Sully, for the last time this week, we checked traffic with you.
And we got a little bit more positive news going through this big-time problem we've been dealing with on southbound 405 in Bothell. We now have the left general purpose lane open past the scene of this early morning crash that had a double dump truck lose a little bit of its load. So that's positive. The far right lane is still blocked, and we definitely still have a 40-minute delay to get through, but at least there's at least one more lane open through the area. I will not recommend getting on southbound 405 for a while away from Linwood. It's an hour and 10-minute trip from Linwood down into Bellevue and under 40 from Linwood into Seattle. So if you've got a choice, stick with I-5 and catch a Lake Bridge because they're really good. Looking at northbound I-5, Federal Way to Seattle's 40 minutes. We're nice and easy past the West Seattle Bridge, so that's great. Rented to Bellevue, 25 minutes or less. Valley Freeway closer to 35. So we are in great shape. Don't forget that tonight, all northbound lanes of I-5 close through downtown Seattle up to the U District. And come Monday morning, the 5 months of hell, edition 1. Because there will be a second one later this year, and you guys better be prepared. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Dry and 50s through tomorrow afternoon. Showers start to kick up then, and heavy rain on a Saturday, or make that Sunday and Monday. Today's show was produced by David Burbank, our editor, Jillian Raftery. We have Nick Freesia running the board for us. This is Seattle's Morning News. Coming up, it is the G and Ursula Show with Flex Friday. Most positive 5 minutes of radio you hear all day.
This is your city.
Seattle voters have spoken, and they wanted change.
Wilson really resonated, especially with some younger voters.
On the terms of working people make it work for them.
Katie Wilson is just actually not afraid to say she's a socialist.
What challenges does the political newcomer face once taking office?
Never having any managerial experience.
Stay with KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com for the latest.
Change takes time, and we don't give it time.
And the KIRO Newsradio app. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
At Skyline, senior living never sounded so good. The world feels bigger when you stay connected to ideas, to culture, to the things you love. We designed Skyline for today's older adults who celebrate life rooted in the city, not apart from it. At Seattle's only true life care community, premier music venues, museums, and culinary gems are just steps away. Urban Senior Living has an address. Discover it all at skylineseattle.org.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes, no power? John Curley here, recommending you call Home Comfort Alliance. For over 40 years, doing heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical right, including standby generators. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
Tune in to elevate your wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix them.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story. because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1.